Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How's everybody doing today? Hope all is well. Hope everyone has mild weather, because heaven forbid the weather decide to be temperamental this month. For those of you in the cold zones, stay warm. For those of you not in the cold zones, pray for those that are to stay warm. Really don't have a good intro today. I am essentially worn out. Greetings and salutations, whoever popped in, much appreciated. Could be one of four people. We shall see. We shall see. And it is ground fog today, popping in all early. Sweet. Good evening, gentlemen. And Daniel tonight still has papers going. Wouldst thou like to elaborate a bit more as to what that means? Are you talking about rolling papers? What sort of papers are we talking about? Oh, peppers. That makes a hell of a lot more sense. I do have peppers going. Good evening, Grace. How's it going? I do have peppers as well myself going. I actually just picked a couple of them the other day. They are not that one. Picked a couple of little. I don't know if I think these are the Tabasco peppers. I'm not 100% certain anymore. But that plant is doing some weird things. So I still have those. I still have jalapenos. I have bell peppers, and I have what are those? Peter peppers. That plant is going crazy, even though it's in the greenhouse. I could harvest all of the peppers today and probably have a new batch going by next week. That plant is just forevermore bearing fruit for me, so to speak. Because yes, I guess technically a bell pepper would be a fruit and a vegetable at the same time. I don't know. I know it's technically a vegetable, but it's not your traditional vegetable. Nice. That is good to hear. Abundance on the lemon trees is always a plus. My phone's being weird. Give me a second. There we go. Shove that in there. I gotta find a spot for this where it's not in my way. There you go. I'll just shove it down here. Sit on the floor near the cold. Always good to have lemons going. Oops. Can never go wrong with free citrus. I've got like a handful of them left on my plant, and then it'll be ready for the start of the new season, which will be perfect because I got to do a little bit of trimming on that particular plant, and then it'll be good to go for next season. Still also trying to propagate new limbs off of it, which is taking forever. Evening, Colin. How's it going? My week, not so good, but that's mainly just due to work. I've essentially been dead since Wednesday. I'm still feeling dead. But it is what it is. Life goes on. Just because you scrape your knee doesn't mean the world ends. Just pick yourself up and keep going. Good evening, Jenny, Ian, and Mekis. Mekis, Atekis, Akrekis, Smekis, Awekis III. Jeremiah Lundeen. Pedricos, Fredericks, General Tao III. No, I'm just going at this point. Could be the 4th. I don't know. I mean, tomorrow's going to be the 1st, but that's neither there nor here. Oh, I'm just messing with it every once in a while. It still shall forever be Macus, Attackers, Agrecus, Smackus, Wackus. But, yeah. Oh, my keyline plant is going crazy. That thing is budding out inside the greenhouse like it's the middle of spring. I probably got about 50 blooms on that thing right now and counting, if not more. Hard to actually see how many's on there when you just kind of T-A-H-T, T-A-H-T, T-A-H-T. Any other questions? Linguistics. Can't get me. My brain works on a whole different level. Parallel level, unfortunately. Good evening, Cecilia. To answer your question, pizza, Skittles, bag of hot chips, and now I'm working on Reese's Pieces because they were 4 for $5 again. And I like when they're $1.25 a container because they're normally $2 a piece. So I got me some. Also got more. Also got some. Surprisingly, this one kind of got me because this is a new one. I got me the Reese's Oreos. Yeah. I got me some. That's only 3 sleeves, and the weird part is the sleeves are vertical. They're not horizontal like normal. So a sleeve there, and a sleeve there. They normally go this way, but I don't know why the packaging is that way, but whatever, I don't care. I got Reese's Oreo cookies. Good evening, Jason. See my new snacks? My new snack. Ooh. No, after the week I had, I need junk food. I need something to de-stress. Otherwise, somebody's gonna get punched in the head with a brick. I've had a not fun week. Even on my days off. I did work on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then Thursday I was just bleh. So I needed something to take the edge off of my insanity, plus the increased prices of alcohol due to upcoming football. So I hope that's not due to tariffs, but whatever. If not, I'll figure something out for my. Well, I've already got my alternative for today, so we'll not be drinking the normal. So I don't feel like paying an extra $10 for the bottle. So might just go get the big one for $60, if they're still $60. But aside from that, that's how the day's going. Let's see, greenhouse. I haven't checked it yet. Oh, I will do that one. Yeah, it's they've probably been out. I just don't shop. I don't get Oreos a lot unless I really want to. I know during Halloween they had the orange cream Oreos, and I ate like 4 containers or 4 case bag package. Yeah, 4 packages of that. Ooh, -11. That is a tad bit chilly. It's a wee bit cold. A wee bit. So, yep. So, speaking of cold, despite the cold weather here, I still have bees in the greenhouse during the daytime. Go figure. They're always in there with me when I'm doing my daily work on my days off. They're always in there with me on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Always chilling in there with me, which I appreciate. I appreciate the company in my greenhouse. Albeit I can't talk to them. But, still nice to have the company in there. Mind you, they could be deadly or not. I haven't been stung by a bee in forever, so to be honest, I don't know if I'm actually allergic, but chances are I'm not. Ooh, that's warmer than the other day, Colin. I've got no idea. It's like It was like 55, 60 today. It was pretty warm. I think it's about 47, 48 outside right now, but that's only because it's dark outside now at this point. Heat wave, he says. That's funny. So, what is everybody growing? What isn't everybody growing? What hasn't been growing? I still have a good slew of stuff in the greenhouse. I need to plant a container of radishes to see if I can get radishes going really quick because I've got tons of seeds. It's not like I'm short on radish seeds. I'll have to space them precariously so they don't overcrowd themselves, but I should be able to get a container full of radishes in there. I already got a container mostly full of dirt, so that's what's left of that's what's left of the dirt from when I was mixing stuff the other 2 weeks ago, week 2 ago. I don't remember. I stopped counting last Monday. But I have still got plenty going, honestly. And my beans, my beans are starting to produce flowers. So I should be getting some beans here soon. Well, bean pods. Stalks? No, I got the stalks, bean stalks. Yeah, bean pods. They would have to be pods. Stalks, what they grow on. Which technically not really. It's I don't know. The classifications for plant matter is just getting weirder and weirder nowadays. Because you got Jack and the Beanstalk, if you think about that. That was 2 vines, or 3 vines that twisted around each other to create their own support system. Or it might have been 7, depending on what version you've seen throughout the seasons or decades of eons of them constantly changing shit. But did you notice that never during the growth process of that entire plant did it ever produce pods? So you got 3 magic beans, the size of standard beans. Well, I would say they were roughly the size of lima beans. That grows a plant, I don't know, we'll say half a mile wide, give or take. And like 500,000 meters up into the sky, and yet does not produce anything else to make more beans. So it was a sterile plant. That thing was a one and done kind of scenario, which is very weird. So, random things to think about, sort of related to gardening, but not quite, but it isn't. I don't know, I'm kind of rambling, but I got nothing really to go on, so I'm just going to go with that. Yeah, other than that, I do have some really good news. Let me go get it because I actually was looking at this the other day and I was actually quite happy. That's the only thing that actually made my day on Friday. I don't remember. You guys should remember this guy, so check this guy out. So look, that was my rosemary starts. This guy over here, I think he's going to die. It's not doing well. The leaves are starting to get hard, and it doesn't have that vibrant green. But you can see here, look at this. Look at that extensive root system is going absolutely crazy in there. There are roots everywhere in here. And my hand just tried to cramp on me, so did this one. But check this out. Here comes the surprise. Bam, look at that guy. Solid brand new growth that far. And I mean, that is a huge, huge leaf. Sorry, couldn't even see it. That is a massive leaf or rosemary sprig. Or whatever the hell you want to call these things. I don't know. That's probably the 2 fattest ones I've ever seen on a rosemary plant. Look how wide those are. Look how wide that is. Rosemary plant. But all new growth on the top. You can tell it's all nice and soft and pliable. So I got to get this guy out. It's got a weird elbow in it, but I can straighten it out with a wire. But I have some very good root system in here, and you can tell this is the main brunt of the root comes down. Where's that? Shit. Yeah, there you go. So this is like the main part of the root because I kind of stuck them in there crooked. I didn't want to stick them too deep, but so far this experiment has worked really well for me. I mean, you can, I've got, look at it. All the way down to the bottom, I have roots. So I got to pull this guy out very slowly and put him in a planter. But I am not 100% certain about this other one. I don't know if it's doing anything or not. And I can't really tell. No, I think that one might have just kicked the bucket. And it's really hard to see on here, but I also have new growth here, down here, and actually inside the plant. So I think next time I do this, I'm going to strip these things down to about 6-8 inches and then stick them in the dirt. Plant is doing phenomenal, to be honest. This is doing absolutely fantastic. Even if I get a 50-50 on this one, that's still 50-50. So if I planted 10 of them in one of these, I could get at least 5 if I'm lucky, maybe 6 or 7. Might be doing that. I might just start selling rosemary plants for like $3, $4, $5 a piece. Shit, I don't know. And mine are straight because I pay attention to what I'm cutting off to graft or to propagate. I'm not using these funky cut branches like some of the ones you see at the garden stores where they don't really pay attention or maintain what they're growing. They just kind of throw them in a planter. And they just kind of grow weird. Like my big one outside, my one from 2 years ago. And I can't believe it's already been 2 years on that plant. Let me on season 3. This is actually season 3 with that. So that plant, I thought I had picked a decent one, but this whole plant decided from the stem, basically the root, went like this. And I have like 4 or 5 little branches coming out. But that's how that one went. I trimmed a few off here and there that were close to touching the ground. That's how I got the other cutting that I have in there in a nursery pot. And it is doing real well, as one may say. I hate using the same words twice in a row. It sounds weird. But yeah, it's doing fantastic also. It's growing taller. It's actually getting fatter, which is kind of funny. It's thickened at the base, so the thing is now about that big around. It's getting hefty. But once I can get it outside in direct sunlight, that thing should almost double in size this season. If not, actually, I'm expecting triple the size. I know they grow slow. It's technically a bush, technically a tree also. Depends on how you grow it or the particulars of how you maintain it, or either I think it's horticulturally and pruning. So horticulturally and pruning, you can turn a rosemary bush into a rosemary tree. And then, as you know, nature requires, or as you know, required, you can walk outside and go up there and pick off some rosemary and still have a tree. Because as far as I know, you can do that just about with any plant. You get them thick enough at the base, let them canopy out at the top. It's what a tree does. You can eat a tree. Well, you can eat most of the parts of certain parts of the trees. But again, would it not be cool to have like a 3-4 foot tall rosemary plant that's basically just one thick stem and then everything's all at the top of it? Like, who wouldn't think that'd be cool? So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with these, but at the same time, I'm also trying to grow a plant that goes kind of straight up and then just kind of bushes out. My neighbor's rosemary plant, probably the best shaped rosemary plant I have seen. Basically, you got the stem, it kind of comes up like this and then kind of cones out at the top. Thank you, camera. Much appreciated. So it essentially looks like an egg. In my opinion, I think that's a perfect shape for a rosemary bush. That's what I'm trying to do with mine. I hate you, camera. You decided to be all blurry on me. It'll either focus or won't focus. Luckily, it's not too bad. I'd say maybe 2 to 3% out of focus. We'll see what it does. But yeah. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with mine. Hopefully, I'll have a little bit of success with it this year. We'll see. Unfortunately, we will see. I know I got 6 people watching. Started off good. But nobody wants to talk about what they're growing. Everybody's just listening to me. I'm pretty sure Jason and Molly are currently eating, which is why Jason's not talking. Which I'm fine with. Cecilia's probably trying not to freeze to death over there. Grace is here, probably listening to both me and the game. At least one of the college games, who knows. Let's see. Deb will be here eventually. Ground Fog and Daniel, I don't know where they went. Daniel was talking about his peppers. Well, how's everything doing over there, Jason? Still growing pretty good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my carrots. They're kind of growing slow. But then again, it is kind of technically off season for them, and I do not maintain 70 to 85 degrees in my greenhouse constantly with airflow. So that could be a reason why they're slowly growing. That was cold. Ooh, I got seeds in my pocket. I gotta take these out. Okay, I should have like 6 of these in here. I swear I had 6 of those in my damn pocket. Oh well, if I had 6, I'll find the other one. I wanted to see if I can grow these. They're not traditional seeds. They look like coffee beans, but they're not. They also look like little rocks, but they're not. These are from, oh, what is that stupid? A mesquite tree, I think is what it is. Oh, you bastard. I think that's... Yeah. Well, kind of, sort of. Has the, Jason should know what tree I'm talking about. It's got the flat brown seed stalks that kind of look like bananas, but they're like mad flat. These you can actually, the beans, you can actually, these are edible. You can actually grind them up and turn them into a flour and make breads and stuff with them. It's not the greatest, but it is a survival plant. But I've got some of the seed stalks are in my car. I could go get some. Okay, no, it's not a mesquite tree. Okay, so the mesquite tree I have is those. I'm looking at it now. I see one. It's got the twisty curls. So that's what I have growing out in the green, not in the greenhouse, out in the steel bin, that weird funky tree. That's a mesquite tree. These ones are, oh God, I don't remember what the heck these are called. But, the hell are these? I forgot what these damn things were called. You can only find this tree in the south because it's really the only place it grows. Let's see what Jason's saying. He says, no, see, that's the funny thing. It's not the mesquite tree. Because the mesquite, I'm looking at it, has, oh shit, I don't know where I put them. These things. So this is from the mesquite tree. It's got these weird little twisty, spirally, curly, tubed seeds. And my hand just cramped on me. Fuck. But there's probably hundreds of thousands of seeds in this thing. Oh, you know what? Let me just do the easy way. I'm just gonna run to my truck real quick and get the. Actually, no, I don't. I don't have them anymore. Well, I have them in there, but they're all like everywhere. Think I don't know. Nope, not that one. That was way too colorful. You know what? I'll just Google trees of the. This is. I know it's like a weird Spanish tree. When I said South computer, I didn't mean South Africa. Good Lord. So here, did you want some South African trees? No, I did not. Oh yeah, that's the Don't Touch Me tree. It's a white tree with what looks like freaking rose thorns all over it. Don't touch that tree. That's the Don't Touch Me tree. Ooh, I can find trees in South Texas. Too bad I'm not in South Texas. Is it this? Nope, not quite. Man, it's going to drive me nuts until I find it. It's not a pine tree either. Mangoes, papayas. Oh, this is going to not be fun for me. The tree leaves themselves kind of look like ferns, like fern kind of shaped, but the like seed pod is basically flat. And I do mean flat. And then it's shaped similarly to like a banana. Let's do this. I think that was it. Similarly. It says black locust, but that does not sound right. Maybe it is a maybe it is a locust tree. So looking at the seed pods, it says it's either a honey locust or a black locust, which is kind of weird. Yeah, it's Just about everything I'm seeing on it's showing that it's a locust tree seed pod. Locust tree it is, which is odd because I know for a fact you can eat the seeds. Fall decoration, yeah. It's these little bastards. I had to Google flat brown seed pods just to do this. This is what we're looking at. Fall decorate with locust seed pods. That's what I have over there. That's 100% these seeds. They're flat and they look like a curved banana. Locust seeds it is. It's very weird. Yeah, that's not the honey locust itself, but yeah, no, that white, it's like a weird tree in like some weird tropical area or non-tropical area. But the whole tree, yeah, it just looks like it's covered in rose thorns. And that tree that's the don't touch me tree. That's the if you touch me, you ain't making it to the hospital tree. That's the I'm gonna stick you tree. That's not a fun tree. I don't know. It could be. It could very well be. Oh, I don't have a. But yeah, essentially it's either black locust, honey locust, or like you said, golden locust. It could be one of the three varieties. Those things are everywhere down here. God damn it, computer. You are going to upset me today to the umpteenth degree. And I'm already trying not to lose it today. Was busy at work, but not nearly as bad as yesterday. Though I did have to start my day off with no water. Because, yeah. That's the reason why I needed snacks. But I did eat. I got a couple more pizzas I can eat. I've also got, if I'm absolutely desperate, I do have my bison stew thingy back there, along with the vegetarian mac and cheese or whatever. But, yeah, I needed something. I definitely needed something. So, yeah. So the other one is the mesquite tree. So I got the mesquite tree going. I don't know. I just sprinkled whatever I had for seeds that I'd actually scraped out of those tubes. So those tubes are ridiculous. So it's basically just like a spiral. If you took like a straw, filled it with seeds, and then curled it. That's essentially how those mesquite tree seeds are. You can sand off the end of one of them and just keep tapping it, and seeds just keep pouring out. And they are tiny, tiny seeds. I'm talking like, I'm up there with like, not basil. Basil seeds are pretty fat. Peppermint. Like they're up there with like peppermint or poppy seeds. They're like that small. And I jacked it from the botanical center when I was there one time. I just was like, I was right in the walk path. I grabbed it, I stuck it in my pocket. Ain't nobody gonna say squat about it. I want to talk to somebody who does the grounds maintenance over there for the trees, and I want to see if there's any way I can get either a sapling or a couple of tree cuttings for the paper birch that they got down there. I was like, sorry, not paper birch. I think it's a yellow birch. But yeah, we got a couple of birch trees at the botanical center, and I would love to get a couple of those. can sell them for a shitload of money. You didn't hear that. Yeah, no, those freaking trees are expensive down here if you can find them. Like, stupid expensive. I know I put 6 of those in my pocket. I lost one somewhere. I just got to remember what those things are from so I don't accidentally think they're beans. Because that would be that'd be unfavorable if you start cooking those things and they're like, why isn't this thing cooking? It's all stiff and funky and not doing anything. Come to find out, it's like, oh, you got a honey locust seed. Oh, no. Well, it's not the tree itself that's useful. It's the seeds from the seed pods that are useful. You can grind them into flour. That's what a lot of the natives do. They would just collect those things during the spring or fall, seed them, do whatever they got to do with them, and they would just make like bread flour. Don't know about that one. I can neither argue for or against that statement. Oh, man. That first 30 minutes went by quick as shit. Holy smokes. I thought I just barely started this. Well, I suppose we can get the second half of the festivities going for a little bit. Talk about gardening in the greenhouses. And apparently, buying greenhouses in the wintertime is a lot cheaper than trying to buy them in the summertime, which doesn't make any sense because you need them you need them during the wintertime. But for some reason, they're cheaper to purchase in the wintertime. Go figure on that one. Yep, there's a colon in my life.
Colon in your colon?
There's a colon on my colon.
I be here.
Yes, you be. Because if you be over there, I'd be a little concerned.
No new news on my tomato. It's still growing. That's all I can
tell you.
No
new flowers, nothing?
Nothing. But it's still alive. That should say something, at least.
Okay. No, we're about to eat now.
Hey, Mandy.
Oh, sure. Now you're going to eat.
Well, yeah.
Mandy's here.
Beef stew. Hi, Mandy.
What up, Mander?
No, you didn't say it right. Mander.
No, that's a Mander.
Mander?
That's a Mander.
And Booster.
Be right
It
back.
is in a boobster. In a boobity doobity doobity doobster.
You're not just.
Amanda, how are you feeling this week?
Now.
Say what?
That's why she called you. She called you hello, Cliffy Cliff.
Dude, Instagram, whatever the hell this thing is StreamYard has decided it didn't want to. So let me see if I can find my YouTube site. Hopefully it's on there because I should be live, but nope. Why am I like halfway down the screen? Oop, Belt Loop's going live here in a bit. Sucked for him. I went first. Neener, neener, neener. Eat it, Gary. Oh, I saw something about the Pinty. Pew. Hurry up and load. What am I doing? That thing. No idea what I'm doing anymore. I stopped knowing what I was doing when I woke up this morning. That still has not popped up anything past my StreamYard referral thing. Alright, comments decided to stop working. No, cancel.
I
That
wonder
is
what Jason's having for supper.
something warm, I'm assuming.
Jenny made
I was
French toast.
having, I had all kinds of random things. Yeah, that's weird.
You had those Reese's peanut butter cookies.
No, I haven't eaten those yet. That was a brand new package.
So it means that you've had one before this.
No, that's actually the first time I've seen those ones.
Oh, okay. Because the way you said it said you had one before. This is the next one.
No. I had there was a Halloween version once.
Oh yeah,
You
I've
like
seen
orange
those.
cream?
Jenny liked them. I'm not. Yeah.
So I've never tried the Reese's Pieces ones, which was kind of why I grabbed it. I was like, ooh, that looks like it could be tasty. Oh, chicken wings. I thought she was like waiting for the chicken wing. I was like, shit, one chicken wing? Gertrude, that's a whole person's name.
The only thing I have on updates for me is that I went through my physical therapist thing yesterday, and he said not good. So not enough improvement. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, my knee's been hurting a lot more lately, for some reason.
Because it's winter.
I don't know.
Winter
It
time.
hurts. It wakes up sore. It wakes me up in the middle of the night. Can't get comfortable.
Yeah, because it's wintertime. That's why people usually tell the weather by whether or not their knee pops, creaks, cracks, or crumbles.
Well, that only works if you have a original knee. This one's not original.
So it's just more sensitive, and you're getting old, just like the rest of us.
Well, my knee joint is no longer, it's artificial.
Yeah,
There's probably hinges in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm talking back and forth with my dad about a greenhouse and heater. He wants to get the polycarbonate, and that's when I said that's what he should get.
Yeah, get the polycarbonate ones. They last a lot longer.
Yeah, mine's like a more of a temporary, like a first-time greenhouse to see if it's something that you like to do.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because it was inexpensive, and I like growing stuff in the greenhouse. My next
Mine was
greenhouse,
inexpensive too when I first got it. But
he wants to get the 6x10.
if he's gonna do that, he might as well just go with the 8x12.
He doesn't have that big of a backyard.
So he's got to go with what he can fit.
Yeah.
I mean, 6x10 is still a pretty decent size. You can
Yeah,
get a lot grown in that.
Hold on a minute.
I mean, I got the 8x12. And I still feel that thing is too small. But I can't get anything bigger until I get my own property. Or I'm able to get my own property. And if I do, I'm just going to get a pitted hoop house or high tunnel. Because you can run polycarbonate over that.
So you're not going to be like Colin Firth and dig under the ground and build your own hydroponics thing underneath your house.
No, I don't need to do that. I'll just have a pitted freaking high tunnel, which will go down to like 6 feet. So I'll be able to grow trees in there, no problem.
Do you have the length for that?
If you have a high tunnel that you dig a pit 6 foot deep in, and you have you're
No,
looking
length.
at 12
I'm
feet.
talking about length. I know you probably get the height. That's just wondering if you have enough space for the length.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What if and when I'm able to get my own property that I can do that?
Oh yeah, that's different. Yeah, I get that.
Can't do that on the property I have now.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I thought you were talking about right there. I go, there's no way. I didn't think you'd have the room.
No.
If you did, you would have done it already.
Exactly.
I've seen some people here in Iowa do those. I mean, there's one guy somewhere up north who's growing coffee.
Yeah. But you have to keep it heated too, so he's probably got thermal mass heater down there or geothermal heat.
He's got geothermal and he's doing the some kind of other heater. I don't know what it is. But the fact that I think he's on YouTube here too, somewhere. It's caught it in passing. But it was very intriguing that the fact someone in Iowa is growing coffee. That was my big thing for me. I did find these 3 young kids that are bushcrafters, about 20 years old, 22 years old. And, oh man, some of the jankiest bushcraft building I've ever seen. But they were happy, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, my StreamYard's being weird. Apparently StreamYard changed a few things.
What did they change?
Test something. Don't know if that's on here or what. Either that or they're going to change it and hasn't quite implemented yet. Didn't know. Wasn't. I looked at it briefly because I had like 3 minutes before I had to be on here. Because I know I can do it on the YouTube side, but don't know what I can do with the StreamYard side. Half the time I don't know. Half the time I don't pay attention. I just use it for free streaming, and that is that.
I don't know either, to be fair.
When clowns drive down your street. Thinking they're hot shit in their lowrider cars with their stupid, ridiculous speaker systems. Blasting garbage music.
That's when they go really loud and you yell, "Sharing is caring."
Well, hi, Amanda, since I didn't say it earlier.
Silence is golden. Most of the time.
When when it causes your heart to skip a beat because of the bass, that's a little bit much.
Yeah, and the thing is, you hear them with their bass maxed out, and you hear everything on their car rattling. It's like, all right, dude, when your bumper falls off, when your wheels fall off, when all your motor mounts wiggle loose, and all of that other stuff, when your drive shaft decides to drop out from the bottom of your car because vehicles are not designed to take that particular frequency of sound.
They do have bass competitions.
I know.
And these guys are serious about their
And they break windows because they're stupid. Their whole goal is to see if you can shatter a window. All right, well, good luck on that one. You just now spent like $5,000 on windows because you blew out all your windows, you dumbass. I think those things are absolutely stupid and they should be banned.
This one guy made his soundproof.
Yeah, the insurance doesn't cover it.
But as soon as you opened up the door, you could feel the pressure from the bass and everything.
Yeah, well, like Jason said, you modify these cars all to that point, and if you crash it, it blows up, catches on fire, does whatever. The insurance going to look at you, give you the middle finger, and tell you to kick rocks.
No, these guys are grown-ass adults. They have they make enough money on these competitions to cover all that kind of crap.
Not if you lose. They're just idiot. In my opinion, all that stuff is just stupid.
Oh, I agree. I mean, the fact is that you blow out your own eardrums.
You have to have a hobby of something.
But in about
alcohol's a good hobby.
5 years, everybody going, huh? What'd you say?
I already do that anyways.
I do that now anyway. I got hearing aids. Not in right now, but
huh?
Hmm?
All right, can you repeat that into my good ear?
You have a good ear?
No, I had a good
You
year.
said good year, right?
Good year. Good beer?
You learned to read lips really, really well.
I mean, I might have some good beer. Actually, let's see how cold this stuff is.
Beer? Somebody say beer?
No, they said deer, like venison.
No, I said cheers.
Oh.
I have to drink these things because they were only like $15 for the case, and freaking Jaeger's like $30 a bottle right now.
So you're changing up today?
Well, I have to. I'm not paying the $30 for that shit. Markup prices. Let's see. Here's this one. Guess I can let him up. Somebody's got anything of value.
I just need to get sponsored.
Evening drops.
You're gonna have to get a bottle to help sponsor you. Put the bottle there whenever you do a short or something, like
Right.
an Easter egg.
Been trying to for like 2-3 years, and they still haven't done it.
Mhm.
I also keep throwing my bottles away.
Okay, that was quiet.
I'm not quite. I
Ross,
mean,
are you there? Not there?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Then goddamn say something.
Well, I don't have anything of value. So, what new things are you planning on growing this year?
Don't really have a lot. I'm just gonna grow more of some of the stuff I grew a couple of years ago
Uh-huh.
because I spread myself too thin last year, and it did not work out as well as I thought it would.
So are you gonna try doing the sunflowers again or no?
Yes. That one, before I do that, that's going to take me probably solid 2-3 weeks just to get everything set up for it.
Are you gonna do a net?
Most
over?
of the, I have most of the hardware lumber for it. It's just a matter of me sitting there taking the time out of my day to try to make a 1.5 or 1 foot by like 7 foot long bed or whatnot.
Are you gonna put like a net over them to keep the birds off of them?
Nah, just leave them up there doing the same thing. If I want specific ones in specific areas, I can always put them in a separate container and just grow them somewhere where I can keep an eye on them.
Yeah.
Or once they start developing heads, I can just put a netting on that, so I can get the seeds that I want from that particular strain or variety of sunflower. But I'll probably still do the same thing. I'm going to do them in my neighbor's yard too. I'm going to just get some rows. I'm going to dig them, I don't know, maybe about a foot deep, give or take, and then just fill them with soil. And just go from there. Hopefully they'll grow. We'll do them every 3 feet, give or take. Just do a couple of rows over there.
Yeah, I
See
know
how
you
that
could do,
works out.
okay. I know you could do Three Sisters with corn. Can you do it with sunflowers?
I tried, didn't work.
Okay, I wasn't sure. That doesn't hurt to ask because I didn't know.
The root system, surprisingly, on a sunflower plant is extremely dense. So
Oh.
it strangles out the roots for the beans. I tried
Okay,
it.
I wasn't sure because I figured they'd be similar to corn.
No, corn's got more of an open base root structure. It's not as tightly woven as like a sunflower. Like you yank a sunflower root out of the ground, and it's impossible to get all the dirt out. Even with a hose. Because it's like, essentially, imagine your hair and you're combing it, it's all tangled, and you can't get past that knot.
I can't really imagine that.
When you 20 years ago when you had hair. When you
Okay.
get that like tangle in there and you can't get the comb past the tangle, that's how dense like sunflower roots are. And they spread out, they don't spread out flat. They do like this weird tapered cone.
Because I know that corn's just sort of like this. They just do it like that.
Yeah, they have layers in there. Yeah, they're just like in there like mangroves, but like sunflowers are just
Very
horrible. They got
fibrous.
a terrible root system.
Very, very fibrous. Roots.
Yeah, and extremely dense.
Yeah, but
So-
the other thing about corn versus sunflowers is they're not a really big nitrogen taker like corn is, or like potatoes or anything else. So, and if you're going to do that, you want to start the stalks sooner and plant your stuff a little farther away. And then remember, on the Three Sister thing, you don't want to actually plant pumpkins. You want to plant squash. So, like your regular squash, like your summer squash, your zucchini, and stuff like that around it. Do not plant pumpkins around it. Okay.
I wouldn't
I
plant
don't
any,
consider
either one
pumpkin
of
a
those. But
squash.
It is, but you shouldn't plant it around your Three Sister setup. And I have done sunflowers with a Three Sister setup, but you got to plant the sunflowers first. And I usually grow black seeds for my chickens when I used to have them. So
Yeah, because I did that and it didn't work out. The bean got to about, it sprouted, got to about 2 inches, and then next week it was dead. It had
Yeah.
nowhere to go. It didn't have there was nothing for it to go anywhere into. The sunflower just completely crowded it out.
Choked it out.
But you have to also consider the fact is the time of year that you're going to plant the Three Sister, as far as grow first, and first of all you have to have the stalk, and that's the whole idea of it, so it has something to climb on, and so therefore you really don't want a sunflower if you're going to have a really hot season quickly into the season for the beans, because they're just going to, they're just going to go quickly. They're not going to produce anything if it gets too hot out. You're looking at a, where they will, just like cilantro, you don't want anything, if it's going to be above 85 degrees, it'll bolt on you. So you can't, reasonably grow that at a certain time of the year.
Probably why I've never been successful in growing cilantro.
Now, you can also grow culantro, which is a relative of it, but it has a similar taste, but it's also a leaf vegetable. It's a garden herb, and you might want to try that instead.
Think I'm squared away on the herbs. I have like 7, 8 varieties of herbs that I'm randomly growing. Trying to grow more. Need to grow more basil, but for some reason my basil seeds don't want to germinate in the damn greenhouse, which kind of pissing me off.
Most of the basil I put outside, no matter where I've lived, it's been attacked by bugs and eaten.
Oh, my basil. Oh, no. So the first couple of years I grew basil in planters in little small containers, figuring, oh, this should be fine. I think 2022 or 2023, I had the brilliant idea of sticking them in open ground or in one of my large raised bed planters. Holy Christ, was that a mistake.
why? What happened?
Plant got 4 feet wide.
Is that good or bad?
One plant. The rootstock on that thing was this big around. It was about that deep mainly, and that thing just sent out freaking like 14, 15 different branches.
Yeah,
4
you don't
feet
remember
wide.
that, Colin?
No, I mean don't remember him seeing a picture of it. But
Yeah, he did that like a couple of years ago, I believe.
That thing was,
How was the basil on it though?
oh, it was fantastic.
So that should
Leaves on
tell you
there were
something.
like- oh, the leaves were like 2, 3 inches long, 1.5 inches, 2 inches wide. They were massive, huge. And that was the Genovese basil, which is known for their really fat, wide leaves. But that thing was ridiculous. I was out there every week cutting 6 to 8 inches off of that, harvesting what was good, and I was just chucking in the compost bin. That thing was covered with bees, covered with it.
Would you do it again?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Then
I'm
why
planning
don't
on doing it again this year, but they're going to go in a container, but they're going to go in a bigger container.
you? Okay.
Whereas that one was just open ground soil in one of my raised containers, and I had that growing with bell peppers and potatoes at that time in that particular planter.
So you're going to have to do it just for the basil, one container.
Yeah, I'm just going to get one container for the basil, throw the basil in there, just going to sprinkle a bunch in there, and whatever pops up, whatever one's in the centermost mass of it, that's the one that's going to stay in there, and I'm just going to let it go from there.
That's cool.
Because that
Well,
stuff has that stuff hasn't that the root system on that one is just like the sunflowers.
Deep.
It is very dense.
Yeah, you can try to grow sunflowers with your sister system, but it's not going to work out too well.
Yeah, no, it's in order to do it, you basically have to carve out a section where you want the beans to grow, which is basically you're just going to have to spear through the root system of the sunflowers just so they have enough room to possibly grow. But you've got a short window of time to get them going.
Yeah, well, the green beans have a particular problem, especially your traditional types that you grow that even that they're heirloom. One you might want to try is wing beans instead, and that might be a better thing because they produce a very large root system. They're multi-purpose. You can actually eat the pods. You can eat the beans. Save them like dried beans, and you can also use the roots and ground them up to flour. And they're very high nitrogen fixer for the soil. So, but sunflower is not your best choice. You probably want something like corn because corn is a very high nitrogen thing. It takes 15 to 20 on the nitrogen.
Well,
So-
yeah, that's why the Three Sisters, or the trifecta, however you want to call it, really known as the Three Sisters, but I like to call it the trifecta because it's the three plants that work in perfect harmony with each other without causing any actual
Okay, you said
Problem.
beans, you said corn. What's the third one again?
squash.
Squash.
Does it have to be squash or can it be like cucumbers?
It has to be a squash variety.
I thought
So
cucumbers
if you
were
have
part of that
if you
family.
have the cucumber squash, then yes, but I believe cucumber is its own species of plant, so it really won't work as well because
Yeah,
that's
making
another
pickles was
climber.
more important to me than eating squash.
Almost like a gourd family. Small gourd.
You want essentially a plant that will not climb as a secondary. So your only climber for the whole process is going to be the beans. They're going to pump nitrogen into the soil. Your squash and your corn are going to absorb the nitrogen, which is basically their version of their fertilizer. All you got to do is add water every now and then. The squash basically provides shade and cover to keep the bugs off of everything because bugs like sunlight. And if you're in a constant shaded area, the bugs do not normally like to go under there.
Yeah, and we'll make it a little more explicit than that. We'll call it summer squash instead of winter squash. Okay? So, summer squash. And you can go ahead and Google that all you want, but you want a summer squash. And so that's why you really don't want a winter squash like pumpkins or Hubbards or anything
Or
like that.
acorn squash. I would not recommend acorn squash.
Exactly.
That plant, so I've had already multiple years of success with acorn squash. That plant gets freaking heavy.
And long.
Yes. It is a vining plant that will produce what would be considered like your gourds or whatnot, like along the lines of pumpkins and like watermelons. And acorn squash doesn't get that big. It's roughly the size of a softball, maybe slightly larger based on conditions like soil conditions, fertilizer, sunlight,
Average of
whatever.
8 inches across.
Be right back. I need to go use the restroom.
All right.
I sent you a picture there, Cliff.
Yeah, I'm getting there. My brain is kind of still processing. I was like, why do I got a yellow dot down here? And I'm like, oh, that's why.
Well, basically, Three Sister, you want something that will actually, to be honest with you, you might want to try something else besides corn. If it's legal in your state to grow, but you could try tobacco because that's a high nitrogen plant.
I'm not a smoker. I have no need to grow tobacco.
Well, it's also one of the best composts in the world. Okay, so it's a high nitrogen plant, makes good compost, but you'll get a lot of what do you call it? Those little birds that fly around.
They got a shit
Hummingbirds.
ton of little birds around here because we've been feeding them for
Hummingbirds.
years.
Hummingbirds.
Oh, I got tons of those things.
Feeds them really good. You don't have to even have to put out a hummingbird feeder.
I got 3 feeders. I usually see about 50 hummingbirds. Some of those suckers are everywhere.
Yeah.
I've got like multiple plants around here that are actually a standard food source for them. One of them is the what is that thing called? The Cana plant. I see them on those things all the time.
Well, what I'm saying is any high nitrogen plant that you could plant and replace corn with, you probably could, but you have to look at the root system like you were saying. You know what I'm saying? How's the roots look and how does it knocks everything out? Because you got to pick the right legume to go with that too. You know what I mean? Like which pea you're going to choose.
Yeah, because well, there's one specific that the ones that the natives use, and I always forget the name of it, which particular, because you can use different varieties of the beans to grow
Right.
with it, but there's usually one specific one that natives or the original population of this country used back in the day, and that's why they probably still use it.
You
be
want me to
honest with
tell you?
today.
It's called the fava bean. Fava.
Yeah, the fava bean?
Fava bean. Yeah. It's actually got more protein than soybeans, and it actually puts nitrogen in soil as it grows, as well as the winged beans that I was telling you about. And it's probably more of a staple than Jason dropped off.
Must have pushed a button. Oh, yeah, it's
The
funny.
fava bean is actually one that's traditional with the, especially in that part of your country,
There he is.
New Mexico. They
Stop
actually,
pushing buttons, Colin.
No, that's me.
Yeah, no, so that's what I'm saying. Stop pushing buttons, Colin.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out how I can do the dark background on my computer.
I keep telling that myself when I keep telling my finger, quit pushing that buy the silver or sell the silver button when I'm doing futures on day trading. And I was like, stop it. You jerk, you just made me $300. Go away. But my point is the fava bean is probably the one you're probably reaching for.
Might be, I don't know. Yeah, one of these days, I'll get to the point where I'm actually paying attention to what the heck I'm doing and actually doing it the way I should be doing it instead of just kind of winging it half the time. One of these days I'll do research, but
Well,
today's not the day, and next year's not the next week ain't the week either.
I'm just telling you, the fava bean or the winged bean, actually, they don't need to have any fertilizer or anything. They actually induce nitrogen in the soil. You don't need a fertilizer, and you can rotate those crops in and out of that area once every 3 years and just plant the beans there. And then you can put your corn in there, your potatoes and stuff like that. So you never even need any fertilizer. And of course, you can take some yeast and sugar and water at the end of the year and pour it on your bed and then cover it up with some leaves or whatever mulch. And you will get, it will actually improve the soil to where
You'll get beer.
you'll never need fertilizer. You'll never need it. The microbes will grow and everything, the grubs and
I
everything
don't
will
want
grow.
drunk worms,
Well, I'm just telling you.
but I don't want drunk worms. I want my worms to be sober.
Well, I'm just telling you that's the best way to rotate your crops and never have to buy this petrol-based fertilizer, which is not good for your soil.
See, it just seems like a waste of good yeast to me. Why stick yeast in the dirt when you can make bread with it?
You can make yeast out of air, dude.
You can't make
You know that,
yeast
right?
out of air.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, that's wild yeast spores. That's how they used to make bread and stuff.
Because they do sourdough starter, but you can't just like materialize yeast from midair.
You can harvest it, so to speak.
You can make it out of the air. I'm sorry, but that's the truth, and that's how we used to get yeast. So it's not a plant you grow. It's something in the air that's natural to our environment.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
hopefully getting
bacteria.
the correct one.
Yeah, that's the only issue. You got to pick. You know, you're not sure which one you're going to get. Generally,
Well, I want
Yeah.
the one that'll make my worms drunk. Whatever.
I don't
well, the
want
thing is,
drunk
if you
worms.
get worms that drunk, that if birds eat the worms, do the birds get drunk?
Yes.
Oh man, that would be so weird. Seeing them try to see worms or chickens. If you have chickens get drunk,
I've seen issues with the birds around here when I spray heavily the sea roaches. When I spray them with the pesticides and they kind of wander outside of their normal territory, and then the birds eat them and the birds get sick.
ooh, that's not good.
It's no different than doing the standard like blue rat traps or bait traps that Jason hates doing, because Jason knows full well that does the exact same thing.
Yep.
You poison the rat goes out there, gets eaten by the cat gets poisoned, then blah blah blah, so on and so forth, and the cycle keeps going.
I really don't have to
happen-
worry.
I see it with my lizards too. The lizards will get one of them as they're kind of slowly ending their life cycle due to the influx of toxins in their system. Lizard eats it, and the next thing I know, I got a dead lizard in the middle of the yard. Then the bird will eat a lizard. Then I got a dead bird.
I don't
Now I
have to
wish I
worry
could
about it.
transfer to the cats, but fuckers won't eat the birds.
I don't have to worry about it. I got cats to eat all the rodents, so there you go.
Well, the thing is, I don't want my birds to be eaten. I just want specific ones to not dig in my garden to try to eat my worms. I have a curved bill nuthatch or whatever, that has been destroying my gardens over here, trying to get my worms. And I'm like, dude, I swear to God, I'll go out there and I'll shoot you. Stop digging up my worms.
Actually,
you-
I used to take my chickens out every spring when it's just the ground thawed out, and I'd let them run wild in the garden, dig it up, and turn it over. Didn't have to till my own soil.
Yeah, well, they're also really good at getting the pests too. So they'll eat
Yeah.
they'll eat ticks. If you've got ticks, they'll eat them. Ducks are actually fantastic at eating ticks for some bizarre reason. Don't know why, but they are.
They're really good, and also the what's the other one, Jason?
Geese,
No, not geese, but
swans.
no, I forget the name of the damn bird. Had some of them too.
Woodpeckers?
No, I got one that pounds on the side of my wall in my house all the time. I have to chase it off.
The coots?
No, it's the one that eats a lot of ticks.
Guinea fowl.
Yeah, guinea fowl.
Okay.
There you go.
I saw that on Homestead Rescue once. They mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm starting to see I'm starting to see more and more people starting to raise quail, but I'm like, every time I see it, I'm like, y'all realize it's basically like 3 quail eggs to 1 chicken egg.
Yeah.
What-
Go ahead, Jason. The quail you can actually get eggs out of within 4 to 6 weeks. You're looking at 3 to 4 months on the chicken at the
That
minimum.
average was 6 to 8, depending if
No,
it's.
it's faster than that. I know some people down the road that have quail. I know some people over maybe 20 miles away, 50 miles away that actually raise quail. There's actually like 11 or 12, maybe 13 homesteaders in my area. We're thinking about doing a meetup in summer, but I'm not going to invite the Holy Grail ones that actually say, "Oops, I screwed up and I don't know what I'm doing," because those kind of people I just don't want to deal with, and uneducated, and they'd never gardened in their life, you know. And it's like I don't need to deal with that kind of people. Really don't.
Kind of wish I had more people in my area that I could get a hold of or work with. Aside
There's-
from the lady down the street, up the street. Yeah, up the
There's-
street.
There's one guy that I pointed your website out to because he actually lives in New Mexico around your area. So I don't know if he ever got in contact with you. But he's a homesteader type of guy. I just don't know if he ever contacted you.
Nope, I haven't seen any messages from anything regarding homesteading or other. Then again, I only check my emails like once every 3 or 4 days, give or take.
So my concentration nowadays is working on more old world heirloom plants for food and for medicines, and so medicinal value. I should say that. I'm not going to go any farther than that on that one because you know why.
That was tasty. Yes.
But the Tamarillo tree, which supposedly creates something like a tomato plant that you can pick and put on the shelf for 6 months and never have to do anything with it, can be used as tomatoes, and you don't have to replant it. And that's one of the things I'm looking at. I'm looking at the wing beans and the fava beans because the fava beans have been used by the natives in your area and a lot of the United States and Mexico and stuff like that for centuries as a food staple. It has more protein than soybeans. So I'm looking at those. I bought some seeds for those. I'm going to be growing some of those. The wing beans are another fantastic plant that I've looked at.
Yeah, I think I looked them up last time I was checking those out.
Yeah, you did.
Which, yeah, that's that weird one that looks like my native cactus, some of my native cactuses.
Yeah, it looks like one of your caterpillars.
Yeah, no, yeah, it looks like some of my native. It almost looks like the leaves on that, or like the branches or corn. I don't know what the hell pods. Looks similar to that of like a dragon fruit branch.
Yeah, you can eat everything on it too. The root, the leaves, the pods, and the beans.
Oh, give me some more yard longs going this year. See if I'm getting those better.
So I don't know what you're all growing this year, but indoors, the Oxheart tomatoes I grew last year were fantastic. I've never grown before, and they are much tastier than beefsteaks, more meatier. They have a lot more seeds though, but I was impressed with the taste of them, fresh, and you can use them as slicers. You can use them for a sauce. They have a much deeper red taste, like a blood taste. If what blood sausages taste like.
Did Romas, but that was purely by accident.
Well, I do like Romas, but they're determinate, so they bush and they're done for the most part. But
mine were going all season long. I had like 4 months or 5 months where that just plant just shitting out Roma tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Amish paste tomatoes instead. So I got some seeds for that. I'm gonna try that this year.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm not normally like nobody in our family really does like heavy on the tomatoes, but that will work good for tomato sauces, like homemade tomato sauces.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I actually tomatoes and me don't get along very well. So I can only eat them a certain time of the day, otherwise they'll give me a stomach ache and all that stuff, and I'm not really good with them. So, but we'll probably grow across the highway over here. Nelda's got a farm, even though she moved down the road, but she's got a farm over here, and we're probably going to be farming that this year. So,
well, a few years ago, we got a box of cherry tomatoes, and the daughter made sauce with that, and it was actually quite delicious.
That's a lot of tomatoes.
It's a lot of work too, but man, it was nice. It was sweeter.
Did you use it skin and all, or did she blanch and peel skin?
We blanched and peeled them. Again, it took a while.
I would have almost said it would have been easier just to puree the hell out of them.
Well, you want to blanch them when you're making tomato sauce because you can peel the skin off, and then it's a lot easier that way.
Yeah, but when you have to do an entire box full of freaking cherry tomatoes that are like this big.
Oh, it took her a while.
I mean, it's fine if you're blanching, say, like a beefsteak or the ones you were talking about, or like even a Roma tomato. You got something to grab onto, but when you're talking about something the size of a grape,
it was just a quick squeeze and they were done.
Well, actually, I do. You can pinch them between your fingers and the skin comes right off. They just pop right off after you blanch them. So it's pretty easy. But that's just some old world methods, I guess, or whatever, or just common sense.
That's the same thing when you're doing green beans. Technically, you just blanch the green beans for like 15 seconds, and then you stick them in cold water. And apparently, they come out nice and crunchy. That's another thing I'm going to do again this year. I had really good success the first year I grew them was the Kentucky Wonder pole beans. But again, I did that technically the Three Sisters method, and good Lord, that stupid those plants would not stop giving me green beans.
Oh, I know. The first year I was here after I moved, not last year, but the previous year, I was getting like 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of green beans a day.
Yeah, I had 12 plants, give or take, growing in literally, I probably would have gotten way more, but they were only literally growing in about 2, maybe 3 inches worth of dirt.
I had
Because the way I had the garden set up, it was not ideal. It was a test, and I figured, this shouldn't be too bad. Corn was terrible. Green beans were going crazy. They were so heavy they were actually pulling the corn down, so I had to reinforce the corn with tomato trellis. And then it got to the point where they were growing so long, I had to run them across my walkway and start running them up the fence.
Well, when I planted my green beans at that time, I actually just ran
I think his audio cut out.
No, Molly's computer's getting a little on the loud side.
No, not Jason's audio. I think Drops' audio just cut out.
Oh yeah, I get a little glitches here, but I ran a hog wire from 4 feet wide to 8 feet tall. That's it. Grew in a very small space. I got a pretty good crop out of it.
Yeah, I almost want to do that with what I have set up in my other one, but right now I have garlic on one side. I have 2 or 3 radishes that have actually managed to overwinter somehow, so hopefully those will give me seeds for next year, or for this year. I can get the seeds off of that. Pepper plants outside, or I'm just letting them air dry outside. They keep getting wet, whatever. As long as they don't turn black and fuzzy, I'm fine with that. I'll be good with the seeds from there. And I'm just going to do the same thing I do every year. Just yank it out, throw some more seeds in there, water them, wait till they grow, give them a little fertilizer, and just let the fun start.
I really didn't have any luck with the peppers last year because it rained almost every day, and you know what that means.
Yeah. Peppers don't like water.
Yeah, you only want water like 1 out of 3 days,
Shit, mine around here, I water them like once every 4 to 5 days. I like
Yeah.
fermenting my peppers. I like to wait till the leaves start doing this, and then I water them.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about leaving the greenhouse doors open on either side and just doing the peppers inside there just to keep the rain off of them.
Yeah, that actually might work really well because it'd be nice and hot in there. Peppers like the heat anyway.
Yeah.
As long as you have the shade cloth portion of that on there, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Ooh, Molly's having a beer. I'm gonna have another one.
She's having a soda.
I'll stick with my
Don't
coffee.
kill my fun, Jason.
Jason, if it's under 8%, it's water, okay? Okay? Just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, it's like, I don't know, I'm just remodeling my house, and I'm going to put it up for sale and see what I get for it and make my non-capital gains sell on it.
Oh, shut up. What the hell is this?
What'd you find?
I don't know, random weird leaf thingy or something or other on my seat. What the hell it is? What are you? Oh, and that sucker was on full volume. That is apparently a sunflower leaf. Don't know how I got in here, but Yeah, it was just sitting right there at my chair. I was like, what the heck is it? Right on my cushion. And the mirror. Amanda, I would like to point out that is some bullshit. First off, I'm growing corn in the middle of winter. So don't tell me it's too late to grow corn.
Actually,
I'm doing it in the wintertime.
actually, Cliff, you can actually grow corn in a bucket, like a 5-gallon bucket or whatever you want. I've got like 20-gallon buckets, and you can grow it in there, and you just shake it, and it'll self-pollinate itself. So there you go.
Yeah, the problem with my corn, it always seems to put out the pollinator tassel before it starts putting out the corn stalk to the corn tassels. So then, like, all that stuff goes away, and then, like, half my corn never gets fertilized because there's no freaking pollen on the tassels,
Right.
which pisses me off. I'm lucky this time. I have one that's got still nice and yellow, and I've got like 2 little corn things over there. So I was like leaned it over, and I was like wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
What type of corn is
on
it?
there.
What type of corn is it?
Sweet corn.
Okay, what type of sweet corn? Because most of everything that humans eat is sweet corn. Most of this corn produced is for feed for animals. It's not sweet corn.
No, it's produced for fuel.
Yeah, that too.
It's just labeled as sweet corn. I don't know. I haven't had the packaging for that particular thing in like 4 years. I've been growing corn for like 3-4 years now, and I'm just growing literally from the corn that I grew the season before.
It depends on the corn you grow, and it could be anywhere from 60 to 120 days, depending on which heirloom corn you grow. And I hope you grow heirloom because a certain fact is like the golden bantam corn would probably be the best deal for you if it's going to grow within 80 days.
Yeah, I'm looking doing the bantam corn. I was just I don't even think I purchased bantam corn. I just straight purchased like 3 things of sweet corn. But again, like I said, I haven't had the casing or the packaging for that for years because I have literally just been concession growing. I'll pull whatever I have off of acorn. Like even if a little one, that thing comes with 10 or 15 kernels on it. I just plant those the next season, and I just keep going from there.
Well, I get that, but you have to think about your actual climate and the temperatures and how fast they rise and go down, and your growing season. And you have to really think about the plant that will fit your situation for your growing season, because everything's different across the country.
My growing season starts in April and ends in November. Ish.
Yeah, but how hot does it get? How cold does it get? What's the temperature between that time? You have to really think about when you're growing stuff, what's going to do the best in that situation.
Once I usually hit about April 15th, temperatures we're hitting 60, 70 to 80 degrees, and it'll stay that way. Those are mostly the nighttime temperatures, like 70, 80 degrees. In the daytime, It'll get up to about 115 on a funky summer. It'll hit like 115.
Right. And corn takes a lot of water too, by the way.
Oh, I know. I water the shit out of them. It also takes a crap load of fertilizer. But again, I'm doing the Three Sisters method, so that works out too. I didn't film it because I didn't have the time to do it, but I did plant Kentucky Wonder pole beans. Did 6 of them inside my container with my corn. Hopefully, probably those things will probably start popping up in another couple of days. I'll probably see them already popping up through the canopy of the mulch that I laid on there. And then I will find a random squash. I don't know which squash I'm going to stick in there, but I'll probably put like 1 or 2 plants in the middle of it, or 3 of them to see what happens, and I'm going to go from there.
Have you ever tried rattlesnake beans?
I have not.
Do a little quick check on that and see what those are about.
Yeah, I've done research on that before because there's been a couple of them that have done rattlesnake beans, but I just don't. I mean, I've already got like 8 or 9 varieties of beans. I can't really afford more beans than what I have. I really don't have the allotted space for it. I can only do so much with where I've got 5 sections of trellis that I can grow on. And that's kind of it. Well, technically 6 if you consider the privacy fence that I made right here in the window for that one. But I might have to redo my blackberries because those things are not doing well anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all the raspberry stuff I got here. It's everywhere.
It's Huntite.
No, it's
Right.
not.
Don't want it.
4? We done? Amanda, I have told you that so many times over like the last 2 or 3 years that our climates are in the summertime are like exactly the same.
Just opposite seasons.
Even with Mark over there, self-sufficient me, he's in Australia as well. He's got the same damn climate during the summertime that I do during the summertime.
Yeah, he's more tropical though, isn't he?
He does get a bit more on the wet side than I do frequently,
Yeah.
but like average temperature wise, it's the exact same.
Yeah. And so I get hot here, but I just got a lot of humidity.
Sorry, I misread that there, Amanda.
Which part of Australia though? Because I've been to Perth before. So just wondering.
That's more or less close to where Amanda's at. Mark, I
Amanda's on the
believe,
right
is
side.
in southern Australia. I freaking don't remember. I would have to look it up, but I don't feel like looking it up right now.
Yeah, I don't
You're like,
exactly
I don't know how
remember
much
where
I'm saying.
Mark is.
Sorry, Mark is self-sufficient me.
Perth is over there in the east, middle east of
So parts of I believe
Australia,
is
sort
south,
of.
is
It's a little more.
on the west side.
It's a little more to the east side of Australia on the bottom.
Depends on which direction you're looking. No, because I know like 3 or 4 Marks on YouTube, so I've heard them like every time I mark, I'm like, I gotta throw the channel name, otherwise nobody's gonna be like, who the hell are you talking about? What Mark?
I knew who you were talking about. But not everybody in the chat might know.
Well, because there's also a Rolling Homestead in Wisconsin. That's Mark as well.
Yeah.
But given the context that we were talking about Australia,
yes.
and I said Mark, if you don't know that Mark, I am sorry. See, told you Perth was on the west side.
Yeah.
I thought it was more on the east side. I can't remember.
Yep.
Anymore. It's been a long time since I flew there.
Yeah,
Just
I know
that-
where Mandy is. So
I used to have to fly a lot for business.
So if Amanda flew to the east side of Australia and then flew from there to America, it'd probably be a shorter trip.
Yeah. I guess it's on the west side. It's kind of like in the middle of the bottom of Australia, as far as I remember. I could Google it, but I'm not gonna.
You know, I always find it funny the people that complain about flying north to go east or west. I'm like, why are you? They're like, why are you flying north to go east? This is the hell a lot shorter. How is it shorter? Because the world's not flat, you retard. That's why.
Yeah, nobody flies over the North Pole, so okay.
There's nowhere to land.
Or
First off,
South
and there's
Pole.
no gas stations over there. So if you do fly over to the North Pole, and you run out of fuel, you're shit out of luck because you won't be stuck out there.
I don't know. I also got my sled stuck that night on Christmas. Whatever. Just kidding.
You're going to be the modern age Donner Party is what you're going to be if you fly over the North Pole.
Yeah, you crash over there in the Arctic or the Antarctic, you're kind of screwed.
I mean, you got penguins to eat, but you ain't got no way of cooking them.
You ever seen a penguin?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all fluff.
At a zoo.
No, they're all fat.
They're kind of like a koala bear. You know, ever seen a koala bear?
No, I've seen koala bears.
They ain't so
You mean
nice.
drop bears?
They ain't so nice.
Drop bears.
They ain't so nice.
You got to worry about them drop bears.
They ain't so nice. It may look like a cuddly, fuzzy animal, but they're not so nice, right, Amanda?
Yeah, no, koalas are technically toxic. If they bite you, you can die.
Yeah, they're not so nice.
Yeah, not so nice.
They're not your little pet, a cat or dog at the house. Trust me.
They're not. There's a lot. One, as me Jason likes to say, what's Jason's favorite phrase when it comes to not petting the fluffy bears?
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Thanks, Disney.
Don't pet the fluffy cows.
Thank you, Disney, for making us believe that wild animals can be our friends.
Wild animals are our friends, not enemies.
Actually, a lot of animals like that actually just come up to me and they're just like docile. I don't know what it
Cheetahs
is.
will.
I've had wolves come up to me. I've had some bears when I was over there in Utah and Colorado. I've had them come straight up to me. Just
Bears sometimes are more curious than anything else, and they're like, they'll just walk up to you. I've had them do that to me at a freaking camp, just sitting here eating a sandwich.
I had a couple of mountain lions that actually lived out there when I lived out in Washington State. They would come into the yard once in a while and they'd just come right up to me like a cat. And they weren't domesticated. Nobody else could go to them.
No, that's the funny thing. Is it doesn't matter the size of the cat. A cat is still a cat.
Oh, I
And
know.
They still have the same instinctual patterns. They're like, if they're curious, they'll just run up to you. They won't attack you. They'll just run up to you.
I actually had a friend back in Denver that actually had one as a pet.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's not illegal, technically.
Wasn't back then, but it is now, I think. But
I make a lot of things illegal. A lot of that is based on the fact that too many people, say foreigners, like to get these big exotic pets, and then when they can't take care of them, they just let them go out into the street like, bye, have a wonderful day.
oh,
You
I
can't
remember,
do that with a freaking tiger, bro. You got the tiger, you wanted it. If you can't afford to feed it, call a rescue or something that can take care of it. You don't just like drive out into the desert or drive out into the swamp and just let the tiger go. You can't do that shit.
I remember I went over to one of my cousin's house one time and she had like 6 Saint Bernards and said, I got to keep them in the garage because when people come over, they just attack them. And I was like, really? And it's like, I said, well, I'll let you see one of them. Then I was petting every one of them. They were like, we're glad to see you. Hello.
It's not that Saint Bernards will attack you. It's like every other dog. If you freak out, they're going to be like, why is he freaking out? And then you're going to freak out even more. But you're also looking at a dog that's like 200 plus pounds.
I know.
And they're not a small dog.
No,
That
they're
is
not.
a huge ass dog.
It's like the Great Pyrenees. If you ever you want a Great Pyrenees, there's a lady that's a farmer that I buy my raw milk from around here. She has puppies all the time. She just gives away for free. Great Pyrenees.
I had the lady I used to deliver to. I know exactly where her house is at too. I can still remember where it's at. She had 3 of them damn dogs.
I thought Mal had one too, didn't she?
Mm-mm.
Didn't Mal have a Great Pyrenees?
She has what would be considered like a mountain dog.
Okay, yeah.
Or it's they can cross like that. I think it might be part Pyrenees, but them dogs standing on all fours. They're like the head's at like 4.5 feet. They're huge dogs.
Oh, I know. They're almost 300, 400 pounds, some of them.
Yeah, they're massive dogs. It's not a dog that you want to have as a whimsy pet because you're like, I'm a tiny person, I'm gonna have this giant dog. That dog, if it decides to go and you're attached to it, will drag your ass until you are dead.
I don't think so. I'm not that small.
So like you got to be a big person to have one of them dogs because I mean again I've seen people lose to Rottweilers. And
Yeah.
that's considered a middle range weight class dog. Like your standard average dog. It just has slightly more muscle mass.
Well, I babysitted the girlfriend's bulldogs, 3 of them, for over Christmas and New Year's. and they were just fine. But they
Well,
already
dogs
know
are
me.
just fat. That's all they are.
Oh hell no! A couple of them they're pretty big, and they could drag you across the lawn if you had them on the leash. I'm telling you. It's not like I'm that small of a guy. I'm like 6'2", So
Yeah, I grew up around big dogs. My grandma, where she lived, the gentleman that she knew that owned the farmland just a little past her house, had 2 farm dogs. This dog standing on all fours, the top of its head was at 4.5, 5 feet.
yeah, that's pretty much what a Great Pyrenees almost is sometimes.
Man, that was a skinny ass farm dog. I used to be terrified of that thing until he actually introduced me to the dog. That dog was sweet as a damn kitten.
Yeah,
Once it gets to know you, but it's a farmer. It was a cattle dog, big ass cattle dog.
that's
Hey,
what a
Cliff, I'm
Great.
gonna have to drop down. I've got a call coming in. So,
Yep, go for it. Yeah.
I'll talk to you
You
guys.
take care of the important stuff.
okay, talk to you later.
Yeah, let me know what happens.
I will. Bye.
Later. But yeah, every time he would be out there with the dog, I'd go out there and the dog would run up to me, sniff me, let me pet it. After that, I had no problems with that dog. That dog, like, I was one of the few people I could run to that dog and it wouldn't attack. Like, it would just sit there and wait. Or it would come running to me.
Yeah,
That was a weird way with certain dogs. But yeah, dogs actually sense fear.
Oh yeah.
I learned that the hard way.
yeah. I mean, dogs. I used to have a pet black bear that used to come through my yard in Georgia every night when I was smoking a cigar, and they'd let me pet it. And just after I'd done petting it, it just walked away every night. Every time I was out there smoking, it was wild. Wasn't a pet. Nothing.
Wish I'd get the foxes in the neighborhood to do that because that'd be kind of fun.
Oh, we had a lot of little red foxes over there in Georgia too when I lived there. But they weren't. They were a little skittish, I think.
Well, that's
Found out through various tests that and a shitload of research, you cannot legally own a fox in Colorado or New Mexico.
Really?
Even with an exotic pet license, it is illegal to own a pet fox.
Well, we're talking about Colorado anyway, so whatever.
We're also talking about down here. I looked it up. You can't own a fox down here. Even with an exotic pet license, you cannot own one.
What about armadillos?
I don't have those down here. I might have them south of like down to like maybe Socorro. There might be armadillos, but no, we've got too many prey animals or predator animals up here. Coyotes, foxes. We do have gray wolves down here. We also have the brown wolf. We have the coy wolf too, which is very few and far between sightings on that one, but we do actually have those. I got foxes down here. I've got freaking at least 8 different predator birds. Roadrunners will just they don't care. Roadrunners down here are a-holes. But if I'm out in the yard, I can get within about 3 to 4 feet of one normally.
Yeah, I remember the Roadrunners when I lived over there in the Vegas area too, by the way. So
Them bastards get fat. It's basically the generational, a billion-year generational gap of what a velociraptor used to be, minus the teeth.
no kidding.
But that's essentially like, you think, okay, so like you would think like an emu is fast or an ostrich is fast. Imagine a roadrunner that goddamn size. That shit would run at like 90 miles an hour just casually, like it was nothing.
Well, I know. I've seen Roadrunners before. I've lived around them. I know.
Yeah, them little bastard birds are fast as hell. When they really want to skedaddle, they're gone. It's like you look at it and poof, it's just like, where did it go?
Way faster than a chicken when it gets going. Yeah. But anyways, so let's go back to subject instead of animal love. you know, you run into wild animals all the time, and you could do that kind of with your bushcraft stuff. You know what I mean? But how many of them really are something you want to hunt if stuff hits the fan? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to be honest, if that happens around here, I think I'm pretty much squared away. My neighbor's got tons of field. I can grow over there if I have to. Neighbor down the street's got chickens. I can work with him if absolutely necessary. Got another lady a couple more people up the street. I haven't really physically talked to them, but one person bought a property and they turned that into like a little mini farm homestead thingy. So they've got the whole back half of their yard is nothing but growing space. They've got a big old green, I think it's like 15 by 30 greenhouse grow shed that they converted back there. I know they've got a couple apple trees in there, like a few fruit trees. If I have to, I will get with every neighbor on this damn street and collaborate with them about growing stuff, and we would be fine. We could probably feed this whole street like it was a Sunday brunch.
Yeah, well, my question is because a lot of people around here, I think maybe I see about 2 or 3 people actually grow in a garden. Okay. And it's very demising to me because they don't have the skills.
Well, that's how everybody starts off. You start with no skills and you start learning skills.
Well, they hunt and fish, but they don't actually grow a garden around here. And I'm like, that's very disconcerting to me because the certain fact is that I probably have enough seeds for a city of 50,000 to actually grow victory gardens for every family. You know what I mean? Heirloom seeds. I don't need to go to the store and do all this stuff, but I'm really concerned about the fact that they have lack of any skills in gardening. And I've seen that in other states, and I just, what do you think about that?
Yeah, not everybody's into gardening. I mean, it's like not everybody's into cars, not everybody's into fixing cars, and it's everybody has a niche that they partake in. Yeah, you don't have a lot of gardeners. Okay, whatever. This ain't the 1940s anymore. We don't really necessarily need to do that in order to survive.
Do we?
We really don't, to be honest. But I mean,
not yet.
The more you lose on farm space, the harder it is. The harder it's going to be for a lot of us to get what we need, because not everybody on the planet has. If everybody on the planet currently had at the moment 5 acres, we'll just say minimum 5 acres, to grow their own food and basically survive off of their own land, we could straight up just cut out the middleman, give him the middle finger, and be like, go suck eggs.
Exactly.
Well, that's my whole point. Why are we dependent upon a delivery system for food when we can grow our own food within a reasonable amount of property? And my whole point
because
is
not everybody has a large amount of property. Look at all these people that they can barely afford an apartment because the housing market is still skyrocketing. It's not getting any lower, and it's going to continue that way for the next 3 to 6 years because we got an angry Dorito running our country. And that's all I'm going to say on that one. The housing market is not getting any better. But if you got all of these people that have billions upon billions of dollars, where their net worth and wealth is, $100 billion, $180 billion, give us $1 billion each. You got enough money. You still ain't broke after that.
Well, we're seeing a lot of money being wasted on people that shouldn't be getting the money, but I'm not going to go into that either because
a lot of our money is wasted by the state.
A lot of money is wasted.
Cities. Let's do a random construction project that doesn't actually need to be done, but we're going to do this instead of actually fixing roadways in rural areas where they need to be fixed. But hey, let's squander $1.2 million on a highway project that doesn't actually need any improvements.
Well, that's because the contractor needs money, and they give it to him.
Exactly. Because they got to squander that money somewhere so they can get a kickback from the state being like, oh, well, you spent your targeted budget for the quarterly. Here's a $500,000 kickback.
Did you know that actually Dorito is a term used in the trade, stock trades? Because there's a guy that actually from Chicago that, not exactly a fan of Mr. Taco, you know what I'm saying? But he talks about Dorito as far as the trade because it narrows down when it comes from a big scope. But he talks about a Dorito, and a Dorito is a squeeze on the resources. Okay.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Here, I thought
So
it was a term for one of those inflatables in a paintball machine, paintball course.
no, I'm not gonna chide you, and I'm not gonna judge anybody. You might think I'm this certain kind of person, but I'm actually just a family man. Okay. Always have been. And one thing I'm going to tell you is that, they try to squeeze you to keep you from being prosperous in your life because they will put you down and put you into a certain pigeonhole to where you can't make enough money to buy this and buy that.
That's where I'm
And
growing saffron.
I'm growing too, by the way. Because Natalie's going to make a salve out of it or make some medicinal stuff out of it. But my whole point to you is that the more people we free up to grow food and be more self-sustaining, the less they need this system of politicians on both sides that actually just want to squeeze you for the money, tax you to crap, and then waste the money and then put themselves on boards of corporations or non-NGOs where
Yeah.
they get a paycheck.
Yeah, Fortune 500 suckers, basically. But yeah, no. Well, the problem is with growing is you have to have property to grow. The problem is you can't buy property that's actually useful for growing because one of two things is usually happening on it. It's either completely shit, barren wasteland that the only thing that will grow on there is tumbleweeds, or what they've done before. The reason why the land is so cheap in the first place is because whoever previously owned it, state, city, or whatever conglomerate, sucked all the water rights off of it. So they transferred the water rights that was on the property originally with the original title, transferred that somewhere else. So in order to do, say, like dig a well on your property, you have to go through a shitload of rigmarole just to get the water rights back on the property. So you're not being taxed or having some corporation be like, oh yeah, you can't have water on this land without paying me money.
Or they raise your utilities and especially electricity because I had a friend call me a couple of days ago from Virginia, him and his wife, and they want to get the hell out of there because they got the AI crap coming in, all those little plants and stuff like that, and they're just raising the property taxes. They're going to make a bunch of ridiculous laws.
Yes, Deb, you did.
I did.
Bunch of ridiculous laws, and they're like, we want to get the hell out of there. And I talked to him about a month earlier, and he thought about going to Tennessee, and then he looked at Tennessee, and he's like, oh, I don't want to go there either. So I think maybe I'm going to come to Arkansas because I'm seeing what you got there, and it's probably a good deal for me, or maybe Texas. But Texas has high property taxes, which Jason knows about.
Actually, ours is low.
He's in a more rural. He's in a kind of like the outskirts of an actual
I
city.
am not inside the triangle.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
so he's like, we need to sell our stuff right here and get the hell out of here. And no, he owns everything he has just like I do. And he's like, we're getting the hell out of here and we're just going to buy another property over there in Arkansas. So they're looking around right now.
Yeah, I wish I could afford just randomly to buy a good piece of property that had
There's a
structural formations on there.
there's
I'm talking
a
like rocks or whatnot. If I mean like good foundation, it's got water. I ain't got to worry about water rights. I can do whatever I need. I can get access to plumbing and if absolutely necessary, or at least get that put in for cheap.
there's a 4-acre place for $28,000. And I should go to structure on it. It's not exactly your dream home.
I'm not moving to Arkansas. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
All right. Whatever.
That's too fucking far, and I have no reason to be in Arkansas. I've driven through it once. That was enough for me.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by cows and rolling hills and land and ranches and all that stuff. And I got all these natural springs everywhere, and I got all these hardwood trees and cedar trees and oak trees and everything else.
Well, see,
They got pine trees. They ain't got to worry about dying in the wintertime.
Well, the other problem is with Arkansas is this, the chicken factories or the chicken growers are everywhere. The flies in the summertime.
Oh yeah, that's become a problem. Trust me. You know, because they actually, if you buy a piece of property, and then you say, okay, I'll set up a chicken farm there and I'll work it. You know, after 10 or 15 years, they'll give you the chicken farm and everything in it scot free. So some people are falling for that. You know what I'm saying?
I would die laughing if somebody just randomly be like, here's a chicken farm. Like, what's the catch? The catch is the damn taxes at the end of every quarter. You're like, you son of a bitch.
No, actually, the corporation owns it, and then you're actually granted the land and the whole farm after whatever. But you know, it's kind of like a scam to me too. You know, just like everything else. You get it?
I would rather just have 10 acres of just property that I could do whatever the hell I want with without any regulations, restrictions, or whatnot. I could do half an acre shit. I could even do I could do a quarter acre of chickens. I'd have that would be honestly that's a shitload of chickens on a quarter acre.
I've got 2.5 acres right now, and everything's paid for. And you know, I could do whatever the hell I want to do on it. I could even put a sawmill in there if I want to. You know.
Yeah, sawmills are easy. You can just usually buy like the portable ones that drag around with either a tractor or just take it apart and move it.
I'm just saying, I could do anything I want on this land. I could put anything building up without a permit. There's no building codes or nothing. Okay.
Yeah, church properties are usually kind of lenient on, and they're also very loose as to what you can and cannot do on the property.
I don't have to listen to bangers come by every day with their loud stereos and everything too. The most I hear is the children go in the morning to the bus stop and come back home at night, and people come home about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, and everything's quiet after that. You know, basically we live out in the sticks. I have hardly no neighbors, which is kind of sad because the neighbor across the street, he's only in his 30s and he died a couple weeks ago because
Yeah, you were saying something about that.
pancreatitis disease. You know, his pancreas shut down, and he's
Because his ass didn't eat enough nachos.
I don't know, but you know, it's kind of sad. You know, in my opinion, to lose a guy at 30 years old. You know, it's just not. No, you don't wish that for people.
If you believe in the higher power, that was his. When he went was at the end of his contract. His contract was only signed for that amount of time, and unfortunately, once he fulfilled his contract, he had nowhere else to go. But that's assuming you're one that actually believes in the higher power, and I'm not talking government higher power.
Deb, what are you talking about, man? Arkansas. I didn't marry my second cousin. Give me a break.
That was his second cousin.
Actually, I married a girl from a different country, but a second wife. But you know, I've had 2 late wives. But
Cheers for the third one, by the way, folks.
well, the third one's going to be an Irish girl, and she's actually from California. So,
Remember, drops 3 strikes and you're out. After that, you should stop.
well, you know, they told you after 60 you should shut down. It's like, yeah, but I kind of like this one. Well, whatever. And she's like, I'm not sure if I want to be married again. I was like, okay, whatever. You know.
And technically, Deb, that would actually be Kentucky. But we're not going to go there.
It'd be West Virginia. Because you come down from the hills, you'd be a hillbilly.
Some parts of Florida, we'll just say that.
Oh, jeez. It's just like, you know, whatever. You
Oh,
know.
and sorry, I forgot Alabama, too. Because, heaven forbid, everybody in Alabama probably has one family tree.
I can tell you're a Yankee because you didn't say Bama.
If I don't live there, I ain't going to say Bama. Screw that shit.
No, but it's all good. But I mean, the thing is that, you know, he's like I'm going to get the hell out of here. And I said, I don't blame you because they're raising their electrical rates because they need to feed these AI centers and stuff like that.
Nope,
Lift.
audio.
What was that?
Sounds like Drops is having audio issues again. Yeah, I'm waiting for it to warm up a little bit more, and then I can start getting some other stuff growing.
Jason, you and me only got like 2 more months, and then we can start going full bore.
You know,
8 weeks, folks, and we can start gardening like yesterday's business.
yeah. Then I feel sorry for Shawnee because she has to still have to wait, what, 3.5 months, 4 months?
Yeah, well, she's more on the east side than we are, so you and me got to live warm space. We're like in the square of where the hell it's hot. Thank God. I mean, we're not Florida, Georgia, and like over there, but
Yeah, like I said, up where she's at, she's far north.
yeah.
I've already
She's
started.
in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken.
I've already started tomatoes and peppers and.
Yeah, but you started them inside.
Yeah, I did. Man, I bought a house with the church. Don't shame me, but it's about if I measure it correctly, it's maybe
I don't think I could buy a property with a church on there. Church might catch on fire.
the church is attached to it. So
Yeah, I know, but me, I'm a cursed soul. The church might catch on fire. I don't like setting foot on holy ground. It hurts.
whatever. I mean, I got 800 square feet to work with, so whatever on that church alone. So there you go. I mean, that's probably bigger than some people's houses, but I'm growing tomatoes and I'm growing peppers and I'm growing, my favorite tobacco plants. And
I'm under 1,800 square feet or 2,100 square feet for this house.
my house is almost 2,700 square feet. That's what the church included.
Yeah, we're either 18 or 2,100 square feet for this entire property.
Yeah.
It's 40 by 80 by 10 by 20. The front side of the house, the south facing side of the house, or the south facade, is about 20 feet high. Looking tall ass roof.
Yeah.
It's sloped like this, but we're also solar passive, so the house was designed specifically for that reason.
I actually have an acre and a half in the back that I could actually just drag a tiny house on or whatever I want to.
Like an acre and a half sounds like a shitload of growing space to me.
Yeah.
I'd have that up and running in about 3 to 6 months.
Well, I don't plan on keeping it. I bought it for somebody else, and she decided to not be friendly anymore. So I got stuck with it, and on top of that, I just can't sell it for 2 years without paying capital gains tax. Yeah. This wonderful woman I met on the internet for 3 years, and she sounded good as gold, and she turned out to be a piece of whatever. So it's not my dream home. I wanted 10 to 20 acres in the woods and a little house in the center and a big old shop. You know what I mean?
That's at this rate, where we are at in this time frame, that's honestly a lot of us gentlemen want that exact luxury. And that is our dream financial situation, or like even dream property, 5-10 acres, you've got a good sized shop, you've got comfortable house, garage, workshop, whatever. Mind you, even if your shop and shed are the same damn thing. That's what a lot of us want.
Oh, I know. I could cash out some gold IRAs or silver IRAs and just, make
Don't
it
cash
happen.
out on the gold one. Hold on to that one because the gold price is just jump
No,
dramatically.
I'm not, Cliff. I've stacked my money and I'm saving most of it for my daughter when I pass away. You know what I'm saying?
Silver, I personally don't feel has any value worth the shit. I'd rather hoard lead.
I got
But
plenty of that too.
I'm one of the weird ones. Jason might be the same way. He might be the one guy that's like, oh, I wish I had like 4 tons of lead. You know what I do for?
No, that I bought like 15 years ago. Yes.
Yeah, do you know how I'd be making so much money on lead because guess what? Freedom seeds are made out of lead.
Yeah, I have a couple of bags that weigh over 200 pounds a
Okay, if
piece.
I got 4 tons of that just sitting on my property, guess what you're paying? You're paying a shitload of money to get freaking freedom seed processings.
Well, yeah, I do have a lot of that stuff too, Cliff. I mean, I'm not going to kid you about that.
What was it back in? Like 2005, 2008 in that area? Lead was like $200 for a metric ton.
Oh, that was dirt cheap.
Yeah, you know how much a metric ton is now? Like 2600.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the fuse market, or are you talking about actual,
The weight
Gross value market or gross market value for a ton of lead
Yep.
like 20 years ago versus where it's at now.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can actually probably trade that. I have to look at my charts and stuff on my several accounts,
I
but
would honestly, I would just hoard lead. I really feel like I ought to just start driving around all the tire shops and be like, what do you guys do with your discarded like lead weights for your balance weights?
A lot
Well,
of
Just toss them in the
lead
trash.
anymore.
Can I go through that and just steal all them? They're like, you guys mind if I? Bro, you get so much free lead, and majority of the time, that just ends up in a landfill.
yeah,
They don't recycle it. It just goes in their dumpster.
they balance the tires with it, right?
Yeah. Those are they're not the little square ones. So like majority, you have like these ones. This is
Oh,
a
they're
half
all
ounce.
long. They're all long.
So you have this one. These are the balance weights that you normally get at like say Walmart or whatnot that have the sticky backing on there, the double-sided sticky tape. But majority of like your balance weights, they range anywhere between like a quarter ounce to like 2 to 3 ounces, and that bar goes. I mean, I've seen them up to. I have the ones on my truck are like that long. They're like 4 ounce weights on each tire, but those ones are lead attached to the the metal crimp that goes around the rim and sandwiches in between the tire. If I ever have to get those, when I get the new tires,
I'll be right back. I gotta do a bathroom break.
I'm gonna ask those guys to be like, hey, look, can I get the balance weights on there if they're not gonna be balanced? Like, let me have those. That's 95% lead.
Well, like I said, a lot of them already probably know that, and they're probably keeping them for themselves too.
You got a lot of these guys that work for like Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Buick. Those guys don't know shit past what they're actually trained to do.
You never know.
You might have the one oddball. I will say that case in point. You might have that one oddball that's like, nah, we're gonna keep. I'm gonna just like, hey, sorry, we just toss it. But then they're the ones over there pocketing it, and they have like 50 pounds, 60 pounds of lead at the end of the day. Because one, it's not just for freedom seeds. The amount of stuff you can do with lead
Oh yeah.
is like, there are just levels of stuff you can do with lead. Split shot, sinkers, a shit ton of fishing. I mean, you can make a ton of fishing weights with that stuff. And
Oh,
all
yeah.
you can go to the freaking hardware. I mean, not the hardware store. You can go to like any major fishing store, and you can buy split shot weight makers,
Oh yeah.
sinkers, the freaking bullets, like all of that shit. You can buy the freaking kits. I mean, it's no
Yep.
different than buying your candle kits. You used to be able to go to like Sears, Walmart, Target,
I have molds.
and you could just go and buy a candle mold or candle mold kit.
Yep.
And all you would have to do is buy the wicks, sandwich the wick in there, clamp it to the top, and pour your hot hot ass wax in there, and you bam. A few hours later, you got a candle. It's no different than the ceramic molds where you pour, liquid ceramic or liquid clay into a mold, wait like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, pour out the rest of the liquid, let that dry for a couple of hours, and then you have that cast, that, half-inch thick or quarter-inch thick mold. It's the same principle. Because I used to do that all the time. I used to make my own candles. Somewhere on this property, in like one of the hundreds of boxes we have in the shed, I have candle molding kits. And I'm talking some old ass shit. Like, I'm talking, these were from like the 1950s, 1960s.
Yeah.
Basically just like polished tin that you would sandwich together with rubber bands or clamps and make candles with.
I used to make a lot of candles when I was a kid.
And the thing is, you can still go to like Hobby Lobby and just buy a candle making kit. They sell them. They're dirt ass cheap.
You can just do moist sand too and make your own candles.
My aunt used to have a t-shirt shop where she screen printed t-shirts for people. She did candles and hobby stuff like that. So I learned a lot of stuff like that from her.
The best ones. This is going to sound absolutely stupid for anybody who's listening, but trust me, it does work. I've done it before. You get a piece of tape, a good sized piece of tape. You need at least 2 inches or 2 inches wide at that best. Your discarded freaking toilet roll tubes.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me, it sounds absolutely dumb as shit. But what you do is you cut that piece of tape to just barely the width of that tube, so you have just a little bit sticking out.
Makes
you put
perfect
your
mold.
candle wick, your stem for the candle wick, or you can make your own, which is basically essentially you just poke a hole in the tape, put a knot around a piece of cotton cordage, and clamp that with a paper clip or a clothespin to the top. Stick that tube on top of that tape and just fill that bastard with the candle wax.
Yeah, it makes a perfect mold.
Yeah, you have a 2-inch wide or 1.5 inch, 1 3/4 wide candle that will burn longer than majority of the candles you can buy in the store, like those tapered, presentable candles.
Yeah,
The things only burn for a couple of hours. You get one of those, that damn candle's going to burn for 30, 40 hours plus.
You can fill it with lard too, by the way.
Yeah, you can do that too, but I would not necessarily want to do. I mean, you can do the lard ones. I've seen people do it where they just get like the Crisco containers and they'll just push a wick down into those things.
Yeah.
And do it that way. But at the same time, to be honest, I feel like that's an absolute waste of lard.
Yeah.
But you can do it. I'm not saying that you can't.
Well,
I've seen a shit ton of
Crisco-
people that do that.
Crisco's not lard, by the way. Lard's a totally different thing. You could use tallow too, by the way.
Crisco lard, to be honest, that's all the same to me.
No, you're talking about vegetable versus pig fat versus beef fat. Okay.
I mean, you can do that too with oil. I mean, you can make like a generic oil lamp out of like actual cooking oil. It will work. Might not smell the greatest, but it can and will work in an absolute pinch.
Yeah, cooking oil. Yeah, most of that's ground up catastrophe.
But I've done that before. I made a candle out of an old frosting tin. Well, not a frosting tin, like the little plastic, like Betty Crocker frosting containers.
Yeah.
I glued a stem down to the bottom of that and filled that bastard with candle wax, like random bits of candle wax here and there. That thing burned. God. I had that thing running one day for about 12 hours.
You can make a bunch of cupcakes. Yeah.
Oh, and that thing did not hardly go anywhere.
I mean, you can even use those what do you call it? Those little push pops.
Yeah, those will work.
Yeah, those will make good candles.
That's essentially, those ones would be roughly along the lines of like the ones you would get from like UCO or UCO.
And actually, if you're going to build stuff like that, all you need is a little bit of gelatin, right?
I've seen those too with the gelatins. I've also seen the one where they have like the powdered wax or like it looks like salt. You just stick the wick in there and you pour it in, and it's basically like. And then if you have an issue,
No, you can actually use the gelatin to actually with the lard or the whatever, and actually create a candle that way, and it will firm it up, and then you can use the gelatin to firm with the lard or the tallow, and therefore you got that too.
yeah, you can do them that way. I mean, it really just depends on how you want to make a candle and how long you want to make it last. The thicker the wick, the bigger the flame is going to burn. But you have to do a thick wick when you have a candle that's like 4 inches wide. Which is why a lot of the times, anytime you get a candle, you get one of those like decorative candles that comes in those nice funky glass containers.
Yeah.
Has technically it's like a they call it the vacuum or sealable lids. There's always like 5 or 6 wicks in there, or they're in like this weird triangle.
Well, have you ever thought about making soap out of
No,
when you
because
make-
I do not have the time to deal with that.
Well, you can make soap out of tallow and lard, and also, but you can also, use a thickening agent to actually make a candle out of and make it a soap as well.
Yeah, I don't have the time for that, to be honest. I've thought about it, I just don't have the time. I'm gonna go see a man about a bush. Give me a
All right,
second.
go ahead.
What happens when you start the live stream after drinking a liter of lemonade?
Go water the palm trees. That's one of my favorite trade buddies. He's over there in Florida, and Jason. He says, "Well, I got to go water the palm trees."
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I gotta get going here in about another 12 minutes.
You got to go to work.
Yeah, I need to go to bed.
Oh, well then.
I gotta go to work tomorrow. It doesn't
What's
bother
work?
me.
What's work?
Saving people.
You're an EMT.
No. I work at Lowe's. I keep people
Oh.
from burning their house down.
Oh wow. Well, actually, I go to Lowe's all the time to buy stuff because it's cheaper than Home Depot.
No, like I said, what it is people try and wire their house with 12-2 for 200 amps. I'm going, no, guys, don't do that.
12 amp. I'm a 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Are
You wouldn't
you
believe how many
kidding?
people. You would not believe how many people do that.
Oh my God. Are you kidding?
No, I am not.
Yeah, 12 gauge ain't good for nothing more than like 15
20
amps, and you're done.
20 amps.
20 amps.
20 hams? What the
No,
hell?
20 amps, Cliff. You don't run 12 gauge for 20 amps. You run it for 15. And maybe you run 14 if you're being stupid, but you run probably 16 or 18 gauge if you're going to run something bigger than that.
Yeah, no, like I said, people are just,
They don't know.
how am I saying it? Not educated enough on electrical procedures.
Well, I've already got all that stuff down.
Well, yeah, like 90% of the population's like that. That's why half of them get electrocuted doing stupid random tweaks in their house.
Well, trust me, I saw a survey one time, like 20 years ago, that like people in New York, half of them don't even know how to use a screwdriver. Okay, so there you go. But as far as electrical, plumbing, mechanical, stuff like that, HVAC and everything else, I already know that stuff because I lived out on a ranch.
Yeah.
There was nobody around, especially when you got snowed in for 3 months in Montana.
Yeah, but when you're on a ranch, you ain't got to worry about HVAC.
Yeah, you do in Montana. You can get up to
You got to
120
worry about
degrees.
heating, but if you're on a ranch, you ain't got freaking business. You do not have warehouse style freaking heating and air conditioning running through your house.
Well, I actually worked for a company that actually did the rooftop units for commercial buildings. That actually did stuff for like refrigeration warehouses and stuff, and they designed some of those. And they actually do. You do have to worry about it, and I actually do have experience in that too. So there you go. Just like I worked on some military projects and everything else, and I don't care what anybody says about me, but they don't know me. We don't.
Yeah, I was just using that as an extreme example. But yeah,
I
like
know.
yeah,
But
Ooh, Mac.
people are totally idiots, Jason. They don't know about the wire size that they need to use for the amperage for AC or DC. And then they're going to do we're going to do all this solar stuff and like that. It's like, I think microinverters are probably a good thing on every solar panel because then you can run much smaller wire because it already converts it to AC, right?
yeah. With DC, you need to like step it up like one size.
Oh, yeah. You're looking at 8, 10, out 1. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to get the same amperage.
Yeah. And they don't know that DC travels on the outside instead. AC travels on the inside of the wire windings, and that's why you have to have wire windings. But that's why you have solid wire versus winded wire versus AC versus DC. They don't know that stuff.
Yeah, DC is direct current. Once it leaves, it doesn't come back. Alternating goes back and forth.
Yeah, and you have to have but you can get away with on AC, get away with solid wire versus stranded wire on DC. You know
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
I'm only a stupid electrical engineer and I don't know nothing.
Now, like I said, what is it? You also have a different types of wire for like extension cords. There's gonna be a fine braided line, and then you have your regular like a Romex. There's gonna be a lot more solid
Well, Romex is
with a
good, but I
different
mean
with a different outside jacket.
Romex is okay for residential, but when you're talking about commercial, no.
Yeah,
Not at
they
all.
usually go to a stranded, a tri wire.
Yeah. But most people don't understand all this stuff that you're talking about. And when you're over there at home, Lowe's or whatever, they don't understand what they're doing when they're trying to do something at their house. And they
Actually, a lot of them do now.
they get educated, but
Yeah,
you either pay. It's like a plumber. You pay for a plumber, or you become a plumber.
yeah.
I've actually considered doing that, going to fucking trade school to do that shit because you got your standard hour plumbers, like your day shift plumbers that work their standard 9 to 5 or whatever, 9 to whatever. After hours plumbers can make a killing because nobody else is going to go to whatever the hell plumbing emergency you have. No matter who you fucking call. Once your standard contracted plumbers, once their 9 to 5 shift is over or whatever, we'll say 8 o'clock at the absolute latest. Once they're gone for the day, if your main blows, who the hell you call? Water Authority. The only thing they're going to do is shut your shit down. You're going to be out of water until the next morning.
That's why I have plumbing supplies at my house. But when my little brother went to school for HVAC, Cliff, he knew nothing about electronics and all the stuff, and he got a certificate in it. But I had to teach him about electronics and everything else for HVAC. And I can fix HVACs and everything. I already know how to do all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know anything about HVAC.
I do. But
it's not that hard. I've picked up things here and there watching an HVAC tech work on some of the stuff at work here and there. There's, to be honest, when it comes to the HVAC systems, there's not a lot of electronics. you've got the one master solenoid that majority of the time it's like $15 repair. You just
There's a
twist it
lot
off.
to do with that. If you touch that one capacitor and don't know what you're doing, you can kill yourself in 5 seconds.
Well, dude, that's also why you got to be smart enough to disconnect the damn power. If you're too stupid,
I
to
actually have a
disconnect,
video. No, it does. It's not that. Even if you disconnect the power, you can kill yourself with that capacitor. And that's what
Oh,
goes
yeah.
out on most heat pumps every 5 years. And I've actually placed one, and I actually have a video on that, by the way. Okay. Thank you. But I'm actually an electrical engineer, and I actually worked on stuff like the F-22, the cruise missiles, some of the space shuttle stuff. Okay, so I don't know what I'm talking about, Cliff, but I do know what I'm talking about. So I get a little irritated when I have to listen to these little devil doggies giving me crap that don't think I know what I'm talking about and don't have the clearance for that. I do. Okay, thank you very much. I just
well,
tired
first
of-
off, we're not even talking about F-22s. We're talking about HVAC.
Yeah, well, I
That's
am.
two entirely different bananas.
No, it's not really. I worked on high and low voltage power supplies and design and worked in R&D on
You're
those.
telling me an F-20. You're
And
telling me that a
I've been
$2.5
shocked with
billion
30,000
airplane is the
volts.
same as HVAC.
I've
That's
been
why you-
shocked with 30,000 volts at 6 amps, and I'm still alive. Okay, it would kill most of you out there. Okay, you understand?
Well, it takes
You
about a
understand?
quarter of an amp to kill a person if it's timed.
Yeah, I sit there and look at 120 and I giggle and I get shocked by it. Okay, I'm so used to being shocked. I worked in that field for a long time.
Good night, Cecilia. Be well, be safe.
Right.
Thank you for stopping by. Much appreciated tonight. Do be well, do be safe, and stay warm.
I only got a couple of minutes left, Cliff.
And we'll see you. Yeah, we do. We got about 4 minutes left, and then we'll be ending that for the night.
But I'm just telling you, I've worked in that industry for a long time, okay? And I know what I'm talking about as far as electrical. I did plumbing because my grandfather was actually in the construction business and did that too. Did a lot of plumbing. I did a lot of mechanical, and everything else, and all the mechanics and everything else. I do know what I'm talking about, and I have done it for years. Not just gardening, not just whatever we're talking about, but I've done a lot of this stuff. So I have all the skill sets, and I'm not worried about if stuff hits the fan. I'm more worried about everybody else, and the whole channel's been about prepare, educate, and get people to get to the ball game where they understand that they need to be more prepared to handle situations if things go wrong. We don't know if our money system is stable. We don't know if it's going to happen fine. I haven't had a job in 30 years. I can't even find a resume because I've been self-employed for that long. I've been a consultant. I've been an IT security, server expert, coder, everything else, and also, electrical engineer. I know what I'm talking about. And I've raised cattle, and I've grown potatoes, and and everything else.
I've grown
people don't
little
get it.
potatoes. Fuck
Well,
cows. I ain't got the patience to raise a damn cow, nor the land.
Well, we did that in Montana when I was a kid because we had a 40,000-acre ranch. And sometimes you get snowed in, and nobody come to plow your place out and get you out of there.
Well, yeah, that's why most ranchers have like 8 tractors. Like if you can't do shit with the 8 tractors you got, you might as well just shoot yourself in the face and
You still ain't going to
Big
get
rock.
down the road for 10 miles or 20 miles to the next city because it's going to be snowed up so bad you'd have to plow the whole damn thing. That was years ago before they ever plowed the roads. You don't get it. I lived it. We grew our own food. We grew our own garden because we had to, because there was nobody, it didn't pay much in ranching back then. Okay.
Well, yeah, you're on a ranch. Everything you do is going to be, you would get up at the butt crack of dawn, or if earlier than the butt crack of dawn, you'd go out there
3:30 in
and
the
milk
morning.
your goats, milk your cows. You'd be out there picking the eggs for the chickens, blah, blah, blah. So your breakfast would be warm-ass milk from either a goat or a
At
goat or a
6:30 in the
cow. You'd
morning,
be out there-
before you go to school.
Yeah, you'd be out there, 15 dozen eggs, depending on how many chickens you had. If you had 20 chickens, good 8 to 20 eggs, whatever, that'd be your breakfast. plus whatever ham was still left in the cooler from the freaking 1,500-pound sow that you went to market like 2 weeks before or
I'm just
whatnot.
telling you, I didn't have the same life as most people around here because they lived in the city. They grew up in the city. They don't know anything about this stuff. They don't know.
I don't know if I could physically be a ranch hand without the access of being able to just drive down the street and grab a bag of chips. But I mean, it's called adaptability for a reason. You adapt to the situation you're in. So I mean, it can't be all that bad. I mean, yeah, it's gonna suck for a couple of weeks, but it is gonna be what it's gonna be. Yeah, you don't have the option of just like running down to the corner store, getting a 6-pack of freaking beer or like a 30-pack of freaking Molson or whatnot. You can't go down there and grab a bag of chips. Everything is going to be supplied to you from where you're at on the farm you're on.
It wasn't a farm. It was a ranch. It was 40,000 square acres.
Farm, same difference.
No, it's not.
It's the same difference. The only difference is the acreage, what you're growing on it. Because you can still let cows go through a cornfield. They'll still eat that shit. Same with goats. Goats will eat that shit right down to the ground.
Well, I agree to disagree. I don't think many people are growing up the way I have. But the thing is that, you just want to make sure that on your channel that you prepare people, you educate them, and you get them informed.
Try to as much as possible with what, little growing education I have. Because again, I didn't start off this way. I have just kind of winged it through life, and where I'm at now is the current process of what I'm doing, and that's where I'm at.
I think you're doing a great job because, you're trying to tell people what to grow, how to grow it, and where you need to grow it, and give them some basic skills. And if they get seeds and they get prepped up for this kind of thing, that's probably the best thing you can actually do for people is to actually help educate them, inform them, and then, educate them to the point where they actually can do this. Because I've seen so many people say, well, I ain't got no, it's like this last year. I talked to people and they tried to grow cucumbers and they couldn't grow shit. And I was like, are you kidding? I'm getting like 12, 15 pounds, maybe 20 pounds a day out of my garden for cucumbers alone.
Really just depends on climate. I mean, you got a lot of people that, I know for a fact there's a lot of YouTubers on here that live in apartment complexes or live in like duplexes, and they don't have yards. Oh, Jesus. They don't have a lot of space to grow. If you have a patio, I mean, the only thing you can do is grow vertically when you have a small space. Vertical is the only way to grow because you can't grow sprawled out like you own the entire bed. You have to grow vertically or, in small sections.
I would not disagree with you on that, and they could grow in the spaces they have, but I'm trying to say that when I see somebody in an apartment complex saying they're a prepper and they're doing all this stuff, I'm looking at the guy with 3 cans of beans and a bunch of ammo. And I'm not looking at a person that actually, gets out there and has some property and stuff. So I'm telling you that
I will agree to some extent on that one. I mean, even if you live in an apartment, you can still be a prepper. You can still have enough preps to, last if there's an emergency in your area. A good 3 to 6 months without having to run to the store to buy provisions.
I could grow a ton of food in an apartment, okay? Depending on the size of the apartment and whether it's facing. And, I would pick a department that actually is facing the south, so I can actually, in this northern hemisphere.
You don't even need to do that. The funny thing is, nobody realizes this. You can go to the hardware store, buy grow lights. Every lamp and every light source that you have in your damn house, take off the fixture, throw grow lights in there. You can turn your entire apartment into a freaking grow zone.
And of course, instead of just putting regular lights in your house, put grow lights in your house so you
Yes.
can grow everywhere. That
Yeah, that's
makes
what I'm
more
saying.
sense.
Throw them in your bathroom. Those damn lights are majority of the time they're designed for indoors and outdoors,
Otherwise, what are your lights doing for you?
lighting
So
up the
you
area. But at the same time, you buy one of those tower lamps with the adjustable lights. You guys all know which ones I'm talking about. They usually have the like 3 or 4 lamps on there that have the like bendable wire thingies on there that you can adjust to like face if you want like reading in your area.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
have about
Well,
3 of
grow
them.
lights in those damn things. They're 15. They're like usually 10 to 15 bucks a piece. Well, probably about $20 now, depending on which ones you get.
And you can
Throw
make
3
it
or
cheap.
4 of those in there.
You
You
can
can
make it cheap.
turn that whole ass area into a grow area, grow
You
zone.
make it cheap, and you're actually making, that's actually a very good point you made tonight. That's probably the best point you made tonight, Cliff, is that you can have grow lights inside your entire house and be growing stuff inside the space that you have.
Yeah, and the thing is, your grow lights are not gonna they're not gonna destroy the ambient light that's normally in your house. It might be slightly brighter than your standard incandescent light bulbs or your LED light bulbs or whatnot that you throw in your light fixtures in the first place. Yes, it might cost a bit more out of pocket, but you can turn your entire living room into a grow zone with those light structures. And then during the summertime, when it's warm enough, you can just stick your plants outside. Or if you don't have the space, just stick them near a window or fucking
And
sliding door. Just
That's
move your damn
actually
things out the way.
an excellent point, and I'm complimenting you on that tonight because you made more sense to me tonight than most people that are actually in apartments that say they're preppers and they don't do that. You know?
You can also use
man.
mirrors too.
Say what?
You can also use mirrors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To
Another
reflect
good point.
to reflect slightly direct yet indirect light to a plant that requires more sunlight than actual
Yes.
synthetic lighting.
Exactly, Jason. Very good point. Because not everybody's in the same situation as I am, or Cliff is, or you are. They may need to actually, improvise and maximize their ability to grow food, to grow their crops. And if they can do that within their own space, within their apartment, I think that's actually an excellent idea. You both make good points tonight. And so I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, it really does take much. It just takes. The thing is, a lot of people don't like to think outside the box.
And not only
And
that,
that's what kills a lot of people on trying to garden. It's the mindset of I'm in an apartment, I can't grow any food. I don't have a balcony, I don't get any sunlight. If you're on the north side of the building, yes, that can be a problem when it comes to direct sunlight or even indirect sunlight.
Yeah, that's
But
why you
again,
pick the apartment on the south
lower
side.
When you get an apartment, you don't pick your apartment. You look at some various apartment layouts,
and you see
and
what's
then
available.
you get what's based on availability.
I
But
wonder.
again, depending on your availability of apartments, like I said, you just get a couple of grow lights, throw them in a couple of floor lamps, lanterns, or even your main freaking ceiling light, and you turn your entire living room area into a grow zone. For, we'll say, minimum of $45.
Well,
No,
it's a good point. And Jason, go ahead.
It'll also reflect the heat too, as well.
Actually, Deb, a lot of the time, those grow lamps suck out less wattage than your standard light bulb does.
Yeah, you can even get the newer ones that are actually like the LED ones that actually suck down 30 or 15 watts instead of 60 watts on standard light bulb.
Oh, majority of those LED watts, you're looking at maximum, probably like the biggest one, you're looking at 15 watts. Majority of those things don't suck jack squat for power.
I know, but I think that actually tonight we actually made a breakthrough on growing for people that actually live in apartments and stuff like that. I think we made a breakthrough.
Yeah, because some of those lights that are really expensive will actually use 250 watts, 300 watts, and they are extremely bright.
Yeah, but you throw a standard grow lamp, you throw a grow light in there. I mean, you can get them. You can either get the little standard like 60-watt looking versions, or you can get the ones that look like the 120s, which are the big fat ass ones, like me and Jason have for like the heat lamps.
Yeah,
I've got that version and the little versions.
and I also have that 4-foot version too out in the greenhouse.
That too. And that sucks hardly shit for power too. You're looking at probably what, maybe 15 watts?
20 watts.
Yeah, if that. So you change out, you take out. So even if you walk into your living room or like the space right after you open your door, you have the main light there. Depending on the layout of your apartment, you should have at least 2 to 3 sections of lights in that area. Take the cover off of the second area where you would have the like, living room or like what would have access to the outside, your sliding door, whatnot. Take all them lights out and stick a grow light in there. Turn that whole space into grow zone.
Yeah. You both have made excellent points tonight. I think that's actually the highlight of the night is that you both said that. You know, make your apartment into a growing space,
Yeah.
and you know what? If you turn green and get mold on yourself or whatever, it's your fault, not ours. Disclaimer: this
I
channel's
mean,
not.
you don't even have that problem. But yeah, just turn your area into a grow zone. I mean, shit, you can buy like floor lamps with, like I said, those adjustable, like those IKEA lamps that have the like adjustable metal arms that you can, put whatever.
I got 3 of them actually.
Stick your grow lights in there. You can focus all of them in one area. It's basically focused grow lamp. You turn that whole ass area into a grow space. It won't even matter.
But I really think that that's actually an excellent point that you both made those 2 points tonight, and I really think that's the highlight of this video tonight. And I really think that you inform, educate, and prepare people, and I think you actually done that tonight.
I know this is late on this live, but I think we will go into more depth on this one. We can do that next week. I can actually just straight talk about how to, because I've lived in an apartment. I didn't think about growing in it, but under the guise of that and this particular topic, I think we can actually work on people who live in apartments that want to grow but don't have the space. So let's put a pin in that, gentlemen. We will work on this one next week. We can either work on it Wednesday if Jason has the time, patience, and or want to do it. If not, we can always wait till next Saturday. But at this point, we have reached our limit. Wasn't trying to go too long tonight, but it is what it is. But drops: Jason, Colin, Grace, Molly, Deb, Ground Fog, Daniel, whoever else, Deb as well, and Cecilia. Those are all you who joined us tonight. I thank you for joining me. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up on the way out. Just let them know that you like my content.
What flavor?
And on that note, gentlemen, this is going to be Foxwood Outdoors signing off. That guy down there with his standard.
Get out there and slap a rat.
And
well, I think that we actually hit a good thing to hit on for the next video. I think we did.
And we will we can talk more in depth on that one next week if that is what we choose. And I think I kind of might remember. Just remind me on that topic, and we might continue that one next week. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, have a wonderful night. Thank you for stopping by, and we will catch you on Wednesday.